Sometimes the world just needs a hero to help cut through all the noise.
Well, now you have two.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Heroes of Noise, and I am your host, Steve.
And I am Dan Ramirez. Welcome to the Heroes of Noise. This is episode 12, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
You know what? I think I speak for everyone, and they're saying they're doing wonderful now that they hear the great sultry tones of Dan Ramirez.
Not to mention those golden tones of Mr. Steve Hudson.
I appreciate
Welcome
that, sir.
to the Ass Kissiest podcast ever.
Where
Steve and I just fawn over each other for the next hour and a half for your listening enjoyment.
Here is more fawning. One of us did something phenomenal yesterday and today, and that's Dan. What did you do, Dan?
I kept my word, man. I'm going back. Thank you for the acknowledgement. I kept my word and I went back to the gym, and I feel fucking great.
Now, tell me how it felt when you walked in. What was your first feeling? Were you like, I can't wait to get this going? Or were you kind of looked around and said, where do I start?
Okay, it's been like 18 months to be real. Let's be real about it.
Yes.
So it wasn't like I just went in there and just went beast mode the entire time. I'm easing myself back into it, man.
Yes.
I'm trying to eat a little bit better. Although I just had pizza right after the gym, so I guess that ain't cool. But I'm trying,
Yes.
But I started off, this week's all about the cardio. So I did like an hour and some change in cardio. And I'm probably going to go back and do some light weights. I'm just trying to get back to it, dude. Went and got me some new kicks, got some new workout gear, just to like kind of like,
fit in?
No, it wasn't really about the fit in, dude. Like my sweats that I had, or, if I bend over, you probably see the butt crack just because they're so thin. You know what I mean?
Are you serious?
Well, the ones that I would wear to the gym, yes. I just needed something new, just a little something.
Oh, no, yeah. The thing is, you're going to shrink out of those really, because you already know when you go to the gym, you start losing weight fast before you hit a plateau. So you might just slip. You're going to shrink out of those clothes unless you bought them small.
I bought them the size that I'd like to wear.
Ah, that's smart. G.
Yeah, now that's the one thing that I will not do, which is kind of getting back to that whole uncomfortable thing. No, I'm not going to let this win by just buying a bigger size. This is something that's controllable. I've always been someone that likes to stay in shape, and for whatever reason, I blame mostly the surgery for it this year and my crazy schedule. I just wasn't able to. But you know what? That's not entirely true. Like, I'm realizing now, like, there is points in time where you can make just to get a quick workout in. So I'm going to kind of go with that. See what's up. Be drinking my pre-workouts and all that crap. Oh my God. Let me tell you about, dude.
Yeah, I want to hear about
Do you take those things? Do you take those pre-workouts?
I stopped taking pre-workouts about 8 months ago.
Why?
Sometimes, like, whenever I would try one, your body would get accustomed to that one. And if you switch to another one, they may make you sick. You just never know what your reaction's going to be to any given pre-workout. And I just realized, coffee is the best pre-workout you can get.
So I'm thinking that maybe I will like cut back on that eventually, but for now it's helping. I think that's it's like a physical get your ass to the gym kind of thing. Like, totally. You have to do something once you take that stuff. You're
Exactly. And that's what I told my mother when she wanted to go to the gym. I said, here's what you do. Go get dressed, go to the gym. And if you don't feel like staying, just drive away. Drive to the gym. Once you drive there, you're going to go in. But I'm like, if you really don't want to go, just turn around and go home. Done. No problem. Because the hardest thing is getting there. That's the hard part. But if you really don't want to go, turn right around, come back home. She never does.
I think that happens a lot. People just pull up to the gym and be like, nope, just turn right back around again and bounce.
That's when you know you're comfortable in your life. When you're just like, nah, I'm good. Well, then you just probably aren't going to go to the gym. Unless it's one of those things where you never went and that day you drove there, and then I'll be like, well, that's a step. You drove there, but if you're just really not into the gym, like skinny people, I don't know what. If I was skinny, I probably would never go.
Yeah, there's not a lot of incentive unless you want to get, bigger, of course.
Exactly.
You're trying to get yoked.
Exactly.
I'm not really trying to get yoked or anything like that, though. I just want to be kind of back to where I was. I don't even necessarily need to be in the best shape that I've ever been in. I just want to get healthy again. What's up with you, man? How you doing?
You know what's funny? Well, here's what's been up for me for the last 2 days. We had a very good talk yesterday about the future of our podcast. So if you're interested about the future of our podcast, give us 5 minutes, 3 minutes, so that Dan can actually tell you how to reach us, to give us your information about what you think about our podcast. So I'm going to give the floor to Dan to let you know how to reach us at our wonderful website. Dan killed it on the website. Y'all ain't ready. If you haven't visited the website, y'all ain't ready. He killed it on designing this website. So go ahead, Dan. It's on you, brother.
All right. Before I do, I'd just like to acknowledge that you have yet again slipped out of my grasp of speaking about your personal life. So,
we will.
I'm just acknowledging that.
In the next 2 minutes, we will get really deep into my personal life.
Man of music, man of mystery. But okay,
Yes.
all right. Okay, challenge accepted. So, okay, well, I guess no time like the present. Cue the music. Buenos dias, everybody. How you doing? My name is Dan Ramirez, and I've got some information for you. It's the contact info, if you will. Hey, check this out. You want to reach us? You can reach us at heroesofnoisepodcast@gmail.com. And guess what? That's probably going to change really soon. I think we're going to end up switching it up. And you can probably just get us at, like, say, Dan@heroesofnoise.com or Steve@heroesofnoise.com. That's coming soon. But for now, reach us both at heroesofnoisepodcast@gmail.com. You can reach us on Twitter at Heroes of Noise. You can reach myself, Dan, at DanQPublic, my friend Steve at SE_Hudson Music. We got the Instagram at Heroes of Noise Podcast, Facebook, Heroes of Noise Podcast, and like I said, we have this lovely site, www.heroesofnoise.com. Hey, you know what I did, Steve? I actually did these guys a favor, and I actually put in little links where you can go. If you like iTunes, you can go there. You like Stitcher, you can go there, but you can subscribe to the show. I highly recommend you do. And while you're there, once you get subscribed, if you dig what we're laying down, please, 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 leave us a 5-star review of our show on iTunes or Stitcher, and I'm pretty sure you can do it other places too, but I do know for a fact that you can do it there. Subscribe to the show, let us know what you think of us, and some of the other places you can hear us are Google Play and iHeartRadio. I do believe that's about it. Let's get back to this very great conversation I think we're about to have right now. I think it's going to get quite interesting in here. Back to you, Mr. Hudson.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan and I had the opportunity to talk to the amazing gentleman that you're listening to on the other side of this podcast named Danathan, and we talked about where our podcast was. And I must, on my part, give a mea culpa, or is it mea culpa, but either one, to say, look, I think that what happened was, on my part, I believe I made a conscious decision to go a certain way with the podcast, on my part of the podcast, that doesn't exactly align with what I believe Steve's true beliefs. And what I mean by that was, what the goal of the podcast was to be like, you know what the podcast is and me as a person is inseparable. This is who I am. Because I didn't want to do the podcast as a job. I wanted to do it because Dan and I are just talking like we normally talk. But it turned into, like, what I was talking about was as far from me as where I work. We were two separate things. So I had to put on a kind of mask or a hat of, okay, Steve, podcast person, podcast co-host, and Steve, normal person, whereas it should have been one and the same. There would be things that happen throughout the week that I make a conscious decision just not to talk about, because why go there? And our conversation yesterday clarified that I had been, and I'm talking about myself, I'm not going to put you in it, but I've been going about it all wrong. This podcast should be a direct reflection, at least on my half, of what I believe.
Well, I think on both of our ends, wouldn't you agree that it should be
totally?
This is news to me, though. Like, I really didn't truly feel after. I know we talked for guys, we actually tried to start this show yesterday.
Yes.
And it just ended up becoming something completely different. And we decided that we were going to go ahead and try it again, a little more focused. Sorry to interrupt you, Steve.
No.
But what I'm trying to say is that I really had no idea that you were going at it about this way. Like, you felt that you were restraining yourself or masking yourself, as you put it. So please continue. This is just news to me, and I find it interesting.
And it's not fair to Dan because obviously he's not going to, if I bring something up, he's not going to wrench it away and be like, shouldn't we be talking about this thing that happened? This is a pretty big deal, because it's just going to make the podcast awkward then. However, I know also that Dan is going to be open to talk about just about anything. And there were certain things that I'd see in the news that I was like, you know what? That's not really podcast talk. Because I was putting us in the same vein as every other podcast, every other pop culture podcast. And we're not that. Otherwise, people would just listen to someone else. So for everyone that's listening right now, that just started listening, I'm telling you that you probably are going to have a different Steve now. For my part, you're going to have a different Steve. For those listening from the beginning that were wondering, why don't they talk about certain issues? Well, you're in luck because it's going to start back up. And it's not going to be a situation where we all of a sudden bring, in my opinion, that we bring up a situation at the end of the podcast. It's going to be more of a, now you're going to hear this throughout the podcast. What we really view, because some things that we talk about do actually have a social, it mirrors social issues. It has a social impact. You know, like when we talk about Black Panther today, it has a social impact. It's not just, well, how much money is it going to bring in from Marvel, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. That is just not the only conversation with Black Panther. If I did that, I would be lying to you. And you could just listen to another pop culture thing for that then. Perfect. But it actually has an effect on the communities that me and Dan, or Dan and I, live in. The Black Panther is going to have an effect on movies going forward for people of color. It just will. And if I just don't say anything about it, or if we gloss over and be like, well, it looks good for people of color, right, Dan? It sure does, Steve. Anyway, next on the...
You betcha, buddy.
Exactly. We don't want to do that. So I'm saying I'm sorry for everyone that listened from the beginning, and and even people that came in from the Word, because I was real on the Word. And I came in here and didn't do exactly what I was supposed to do. That's my bad. So that's what I wanted to tell everybody.
But I don't really think that it's going to be this huge difference. Do you feel like it's this full on shift and now we get this completely different person? Because, I just want to be prepared for it. I don't really know.
No.
This is all new to me. So I'm curious how you're going about this. But I do respect what you're saying. And I've always thought that we should just be straight up honest. Trust me, guys. There's things that I've said on this show that I've also edited out just because I felt like, you know what? We're not talking about freaking Iron Man or Justice League or whatever, what have you, And so I'm always down to be a more honest podcast for sure. I think that actually is going to help us in the end find our voices. I know that we're still in the process of finding our voices right now. Like I've said this several times, you guys are hearing a show that if you decide to stick with us, and I hope you do, check back like 2 years from now. I think you're going to have a completely different show. I feel it's going to be a much better show. Maybe this is the seed blossoming, Steve.
For sure. Definitely. I believe that. This is actually the beginning of a really different, not a very different, but a different me. It's not going to be a huge change, but you're also not going to hear me gloss over things that are totally obvious to some. And for some, when I say it, they're just like, I haven't thought about that. Because my goal is for some people to say, I'm glad he spoke up about that because I hadn't heard it on any other podcast. Or have someone be like, you know what? I had not thought about that. And then have you think about it when we get out. Even if you disagree later on, it's something that you say, I never thought of that. Right now, everything we've said, there's no way someone hasn't thought about it from other than the first discussion we had. There's no way that I can't think of anything we've said that someone just was like, what an independent view I've never heard. And that is a shame. I should be able to think back and be like, oh, I could, in the last 12 episodes, I know that some of the stuff we talked about was holy cow, I never thought of it that way. Even if I just heard it from you. Holy cow, what an interesting, the fact that we haven't had that yet is a problem. And so I think it's just because I know I haven't been completely straight up with the listeners, and that's it. It's just today. It's not going to be a huge change. For people that have listened to us for a long time are probably going to be like, that's not that much of a change. For people that started listening 2 weeks ago might be like, whoa, the person that I started. Yeah, yes. 2 weeks, when I say something about, whatever, they're going to be like, oh, 2 weeks ago, that guy wouldn't have said that. I thought he was this guy. And I get that. And that might be what you're looking for. And I totally respect that. But I want people, when they listen to this podcast, they know what they're getting and they know who we are from a billion podcasts from now. Now, one day we're going to have a bunch of podcasts in our network where it's just like, well, let me try this other podcast. And those people are going to be real, but maybe they do the thing you like. But that's their authentic self that's their authentic self on their show on our network. But everyone we get going forward on our network and including us are going to be authentic. That's who they are. If someone's like, how about that? The Marvel universe? When you meet them live and in person, they're going to be like, so did you listen to our show about the Marvel? That's them. They're like, oh, turns out that's who they really are. We want to be authentic on this network from jump to finish, from us all the way down. That's the goal, I think.
That's real, man. I honestly feel like like I said, I do feel like I've kind of, pulled back a little bit, but I just don't want the listeners right now, especially the ones that have been with us from, day one. Mm-hmm. You're still getting the same show. It's going to be the same show. It's just expanded a little bit, I think. And the funny thing is I'm talking out of my ass because I don't even know exactly how we're going to go about this right now. But I know personally that I've always tried to be, as real as I can, but I have held back a few things, and I kind of like this. I'd like to see where this takes us. So maybe we should start.
So yeah, that's all I want to say, ladies and gentlemen. And now I have some interesting news yet again.
Oh, do tell.
So last week we got an amazing voicemail from a man that we call Johnny Bucks.
The one and only Johnny Bucks.
He's so famous, he's more than famous. What do you call that, Dan? He's infamous. You don't know where
I don't think that's a good thing. I think when you're infamous, I think that's bad.
Don't you remember on the Three Amigos where he said, "What's infamous?" He's like, "Oh, it's more than famous. He's so famous, he's infamous." You don't remember that?
I do, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's why I said the infamous. I'm sorry. I know whenever somebody's a Three Amigos fan that's just like, of course. But anyway, Johnny Bucks left us an amazing voicemail last week. And then this week, we get another voicemail from someone in the same region. Can you give us more information about that, Dan?
Not only in the same region, in the same family.
That's impossible.
It's totally possible. And guys, so, I was home one day and I just looked at my phone there and there it was. There was a voicemail from someone that we're going to call Mick C, a family member of Johnny's. Welcome to the show, Mick C. First of all, thank you very much for listening. Apparently Johnny turned you on to us and I'm very happy that you're here. So you were challenging us to see if we would play this voicemail. Of course we're going to play the voicemail. Anyone that sends to us, we're going to, even if you're like, you guys suck. Yes. I really do think that I would play it. I really would.
Yes.
But please don't. I'm a sensitive cat. But Mick was very nice. He just wanted to reach out and say hello. So I think now would be the perfect time to go ahead and play that, don't you?
All right. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our second voicemail of the show. I'm very happy to give this to you from none other than Mick C of the UK. And here we go.
Hello, gentlemen. I like your show. I like your show a lot. I am Johnny Bucks' brother-in-law. I've known him for 25 years. We were good mates before he met my beautiful sister, and they married and have a beautiful family. I don't see him as often as I want to because he lives far from me. I live in the north of England, the road mile in the north, as you will. But yeah, Johnny taught me how to play the bass, and that changed my life. We share an absolute total commitment to all things sci-fi. Me, Marvel especially. And I would just like to say I really enjoyed your show. You turned me onto it. And I thought, hey, I'll send in a voicemail and see what you guys will do with it. Will you play it or not? Well, that's up to you, isn't it, really? But say, look to the shadows. You never know who's in there. Goodbye.
A voicemail from Mick C.
Mick C. Where were you, Mick C? That's what I want to know. It sounded like you were partying somewhere. Were you in a pub?
Were you in a pub, like directly in a pub, or no?
I would like to think you were in a pub. I'm going to go ahead and just go with that no matter what you say.
I'm telling you. Now, here's my question. Look, Johnny Bucks, we love your voice. I think you have some competition. I think someone has just given you some competition. Now, I don't know, the ladies might be sending fan mail to yet another person. I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
I don't know, man. It's just too much sexiness coming over the airwaves, man. All from overseas, that overseas sexiness. So, Mick, thank you so much for your voicemail, man. It's like a pleasure to meet you. And welcome to the family. I'm still trying to think of like a name for our listeners. It hasn't come to me yet, but I actually had two good ones last night, but they were both taken. So apparently that's not very original. So I'm not even going to go with that. But we need to come up with a name, don't you think, Steve, of our listeners?
Yes. And the thing is, especially people that give us the background to their relationship with another listener.
That's what I thought was.
I really know some of your family now. I like this. I know the in-depth machinations. I appreciate that, man. So,
you know what's awesome about that though?
that?
And and by the way, before I say it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this, Mick. But I just liked it that Mick kind of like took it to, it wasn't about like us. It was just about Johnny Bucks, basically. It was his association to Johnny Bucks on the show. And, you know, I think that's great. Honestly, you guys are more than welcome on the show whenever you want.
Oh, whenever.
Sounds like you're into the same stuff we're into. And if not, that's even better because now we have something else to talk about. So
yes,
seriously, bottom of my heart. Thank you both for sending voicemails. And to the other listeners out there, don't be shy. Please get them in there. Let's get to know each other and let's grow this family because this is the year, man. I'm telling you, 2018 is the year.
Don't be shy, hush, eye-to-eye.
Eye-to-eye, right?
You know what I'm saying? You need to be out there. Totally. Send those voicemails, brother.
Get your Kajagoogoo on.
Oh, is that who it was?
It was Kajagoogoo, baby.
I did not know that. I thought it was before your time. I didn't think you know that. I thought when I said that, you'd be like, what is that?
I believe the singer's name was Lamal or something like that. He also did, fun fact, what was the other song? Do you know the other song? I'm going to quiz you real quick. What was his?
Go ahead.
I'll give you this.
Okay, go.
It was to, even if his name isn't Lamal, it's something like that.
It's a black name.
It was kind of. It was to a movie. Title song of a movie.
What? Okay, tell me the movie.
It was a duet. If I tell you the movie, then you're going to know the name of the song.
I might not, G, because I might not have seen the movie. You like those 80s movies. I don't know a lot of them. Like, I still haven't seen, The Breakfast Club. So I don't know.
Well, it ain't The Breakfast Club. There's no song called The Breakfast Club. But
it's the name of the song. It's the name of the movie?
It's the title track. Title track.
Snap. That's interesting. Is it a movie I've seen, you think?
I would guess so. Yeah, I would think you would. At least once.
Let me think. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. No.
Nope. It's fantasy. 80s fantasy.
80s fantasy?
Turn around.
He didn't do that song.
Look at what you see.
He didn't do that song.
I cannot believe I just sang that shit over. No, that's the second part. See, there's a duet, I told you. I don't know who the other person is. I could look it up real quick if anyone's interested, but
are you kidding me?
I'm really not. No, I swear. Cross my heart,
is
brother.
That is the best quiz question of all time, G.
I know I always end up wasting my questions.
That's such a good, because I've watched that movie a million times. That is a huge quiz question, G. Oh, what a waste.
I wasted it. You know what though? I'm full of them. I just have to stop asking you questions. Whenever I say fun fact, I should probably stop. And it was what I say his name was Lamal? Yeah, it's Limahl, Lamal.
Gee, that's an amazing pull. Gee,
that's a dope name too.
Sang that song?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who sang it with him, but it's honestly not that important to me.
I used to love that song.
Do I have it? Here? Beth Anderson would be the
most
Beth
normal
Anderson.
name.
Lamal and Beth Anderson.
Normal name in entertainment history.
Pretty much.
That's a teacher's name.
It's like Chris Peters. How you doing?
Yes.
Super
John
rock star.
Smith, ladies and gentlemen. So no, but I used to love the Who Are You Really? I used to love Neverending Story. I used to love that movie.
I think one of these days we should do a show that's just all about like the shows we liked in the 80s.
Oh, for sure.
All of the stuff that we grew up with, you know?
Oddly enough, one of your quizzes is 80s stuff today. Oddly enough. That makes me nervous.
Start focusing my energy. I'm going to start focusing my energy to that.
I didn't know you knew this stuff like that. Now I'm really nervous.
I'm full of information that will get me nowhere in life, pretty much.
No, that's not true. You know where it got you? Sitting across from me doing this podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
How you doing there, buddy? I see you. People are like, what the fuck is this? Is this the new difference that they're talking about? New difference. Bad 80s pools and affection.
This is what people listen to for, man. This is what we that's what they are. You now tell me something. Okay, this is going to be on a grand scale. This is on a different level right here.
What's up?
Dude? Okay, you watch Neverending Story now. Even though there's no CGI, don't you think practical effects make sense?
I've always been a fan of practical effects. I mean, if you look at, like, say, The Force Awakens.
Yes.
I really respected that JJ brought back the practical effects and got away from all that. Because the CG is just getting out of hand. And it's good. It's super impressive. In fact, I feel that, honestly, that at some point very soon, they're going to be able to just, like, eliminate the actor itself. And they're just going to have, like, voiceover tracks.
Well, see, they were talking about how hard that is because, the human brain can tell when something's wrong. For instance, you know how we evolved over the billions of years to, if you see the reason that you can see a face on everything, just like a light socket, you see a face there. You think of a face. It's because
just association.
Yes, it's because that when we were in different areas, we had to be able to see if something was about to attack us. We had to see a face in camouflage because that means someone's hiding or something is hiding from you. So you have to be able to see a face in the camouflage. So now we are so good at detecting when something's not right that getting human realism in CGI, it just never passes the test. Just like in The Life of Pi. That tiger was amazing, but we all knew for some reason it wasn't real. Even though they made it as real as they can, the human brain can still tell something's off. So I don't know if it will ever be able to pass that sniff test. I think our minds are too advanced for us to be able to not to be able to tell that's not real. Something's off.
So you think that as the technology grows, our brains grow with it or get used to it?
Yeah, we have to reboot. We'd have to reboot, start over, and then they continue where they're from. Then we'd be like, oh, that's the only realism we know. But now that we know real and we see real every day, there's no way to duplicate it. It's too perfect. Real is too perfect.
But if you take, like, say, I don't know, let me think of something real quick here. What was some early CGI? How about, let's just go with Jurassic
T2.
Park.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's go T2. Even better, T2. So now you take that and you put it to what's like the gold standard for today, which would be something like, say, I don't know, off the top of my head. Well, of course, you've got Star Wars, but you've got, say, like Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Caesar. Caesar's amazing looking, right?
Incredible.
I don't know, man. I think that at some point, I think that it'll actually be able to fool us. I mean, I don't think that they're going to try to fool us. I just think that it would be something where we're like, oh yeah, that looks completely real. I really think that we're very close to that.
They'll get close. I believe they get close. I think they'll get closer with humans than they will with animals. I think they'll get closer with humans than they will with animals.
There's so much change that's going to happen over the next 10 years.
Dude,
it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be, and I think I do believe that as good as we get with CGI, like, okay, there was nothing. Okay, how close have we gotten CGI compared to the now this is the question. Compared to the practical effects of that wolf in Neverending Story. Being that it had some sort of weight to it, it just looked realer than CGI would. It had weight to it.
It did have weight to it. I see what you're saying, but it also looked pretty mechanized.
True, but
when the way it moved its head and everything. But for the time, it was very modern. And
but if I would have taken a snapshot, then people would have been like, "That's a real wolf," because they made it. Whereas if I took a snapshot of some CGI, someone would be like, "That looks like a picture of something. It doesn't look like a real thing in that cave." Whereas that wolf looked like when the lightning flashed, I could take a snapshot and they'd be like, "Oh, that might be a wolf in a cave."
It's also true 3D though.
What's that?
It's not. The wolf was true 3D. It was a three-dimensional structure versus, simulated 3D.
Bingo. And that's why I think practical effect, like I still to this day, was it a miniature, that rock thing? I wish I could see the making of that rock so. Man. It had to be like I know it wasn't at scale, but I know
I think it was I think it was like a dude in a costume, life size in that way. You know what I mean? Like the size of an adult man versus not the giant. They talk about the dude on the trike, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so depressing.
Interesting movie.
It was such a depressing when he lost. Oh my God, it still gets me. When he's like, "These are such strong hands." Oh my God.
It's been a minute since I've seen that. I'm actually like kind of forgetting all of I remember the scenes in my head. I can see them in my head, but just like what was it? The swamp of depression
depression. Oh my God. Dude.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
And when he lost the horse?
Atreyu lost his horse.
Oh man. Yeah, we might.
Some of those movies were crazy dark. That was another one that was really dark like that. Time Bandits. Do you remember that movie?
Never saw Time Bandit.
Oh damn, dude. That's still kind of a bothrsome movie to me. Yeah, that's all about. I don't even want to get into it. Just check out Time Bandits and we'll talk about that one day.
Yes. What about?
I think that we should assign each other a movie to watch.
So Time Bandits is mine. Yours is Never Ending.
Well, yeah, but I've seen it. That's the thing.
Kind of.
You know what I mean?
You haven't seen it in
Kinda.
such
I've
a
seen
long
enough. It's just
time.
been a long time.
It's just been a long
Right. It's just been a long
Yes.
time,
Yes.
right? But
That's-
you've never seen Time Bandit. But I don't really want to go with Time Bandits. That's it for another day. But just over here, we're over like planning the show right now. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, we'll get back to it. We're gonna do an '80s show, I think, pretty soon.
But what shouldn't I watch Breakfast Club though? I've been told this.
I can't believe you've never seen The Breakfast Club.
It does not look interesting in the least bit to me.
The thing is, I'll be honest with you, The Breakfast, I loved all the John Hughes movies back in the day, but now going back and watching them, like I tried to turn my kid on to Breakfast Club and she watched it, but it just doesn't hold up. It's like some of those movies, it just doesn't hold up for me. They're great movies, but they don't hold up as far as like, the script is really bad. You had to be there at that time watching it to fully get that.
Sense.
You know what I mean? Like you take a movie like, say, did you ever see Pretty in Pink?
No.
Okay, well, another one. There's a scene where Molly Ringwald's like yelling at her boyfriend, which was played by Andrew McCarthy, talking about, what about prom? What about prom? And it's like, you know what? If I watch that movie now, I was like, I don't give a damn about prom. I got bills to pay. I got shit to take care of, man. I'm not trying to deal with your stupid prom, but you know what I mean? Like, it was just, I don't know.
I haven't seen Say Anything.
That's a great movie too. But all of those movies are a little bit lost on me. I think we do need to go down this road, dude. I think we need to do some kind of.
I think we totally do, because I want to know if Ferris holds up. I think it does. Other people say my kid tried to watch it and it didn't hold up. So I thought Ferris did. I thought Ferris would.
When you say hold up, I guess when I say that too, are we talking about hold up to us or hold up to the younger
if I told
generation?
someone else to watch it, will it hold up?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of movies that don't. Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, that's tough. Huh?
Beverly Hills Cop.
I was just about to say that. I think it does.
I don't know. Maybe more so than like those ones do.
There's problematic parts though. There are problematic things in there where you're just like, oh, you can't do that now, dude. Just
exactly.
Like,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, there's just certain things that you can't touch on.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy's favorite word was the F word, and it wasn't the F-U-C-K. It was a different one.
Funny, I've never heard you spell it out.
Yeah, this sounds weird, huh?
That's the new us. We're PG, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how it is, man. That's how we handle our SHIT. You know what I'm saying?
That is so. Yeah, dude, we got to do an 80s dedicated show, but you got to assign me a movie to watch that I've never seen. And you just got 5 of them.
I'm a little nervous about this because if we get a no return on this, then you know what, it doesn't matter. We'll just shape our show as we go. But let's turn it over to the listeners. Is there any movies that you guys want us to talk about, break down, something like that? Let us know. Go ahead and hit us up at heroesofnoisepodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail. Let's do this. Let's do an 80s show, and we need your help. So let us know what you want us to review or talk about, and we're all over it.
Perfect. And that,
like white on rice,
my friend, brings us to your favorite part of the episode, and that's where Dan sings an 80s. I'm joking. That's where we do the news of the week, ladies and gentlemen, and Dan has a lot. As you can hear his paper shuffling, Dan has a lot of news, and he's ready to shake and bake.
I'm just saying, I'm all digital. Yeah, I don't play with paper.
Gee,
I'm
I
paperless,
only have
man.
paper and outlines and things that point to things with words next to them.
Shall I get you like a long stick and you can point at a chalkboard?
Come on. Like? Oh, I can't do that. Never mind.
Yes, you can. See, look at you. See, there you go again. See, this guy right now just said 10 minutes ago, he's like, I'm not going to hold back. Now he's holding back already.
I cannot do it because I don't want to make Johnny Bucks and MCZ upset. So I will not do it. Go on.
Guys, please write in and tell Steve not to change up his flow. It just doesn't do well for
I don't have the low voice like those two do. I can't be like, whatever.
I don't think I guess they could. Maybe they could do. I don't know. I don't know if they're quite Barry material yet. No offense, gentlemen, but this is Barry White,
I wonder what the UK version of that low voice guy is. It Barry White? Is he the universal?
There's got to be someone that we're missing that's maybe not even on our radar.
Barry White,
but I'm sure Barry's got a hold. Barry holds his own though, man.
Gee. Just like what was the one on
whatever.
Yes, what was the one on with the Chris Tucker Money Talks Oh My Everything. I had never heard that song until that movie, and I was like, oh, that's a good song.
But you think they can go like?
I know.
I just liked how Barry's songs, they always kicked in with a in it.
I think the low voice guy was Barry. The crooner was Luther. The high guy was either Prince or Philip Bailey from Earth, Wind & Fire. Those were the 3 steps.
Who do you think could go higher, Philip Bailey or Prince?
Philip Bailey.
You think so?
Philip Bailey. Clear, yes. Screaming Prince.
Yeah, there you go. It's the scream.
Yeah.
That shriek.
I'm about to check this out. Prince or Philip Bailey plus Dave Grohl equals Prince. Because the scream, he effectively screams without losing his voice. He can scream high, and he doesn't lose his voice. Philip Bailey can sing high really clear, but when you add the scream with it, then you get Prince.
Philip Bailey of Earth, Wind, and Fire, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what we're talking about.
What movie was that from? Was that
you got me on that
Arrested Development? They're like, this is the law office of Firth, Wind, and Meyer. I forgot who it was. But man, I think it was Arrested. Maybe it wasn't. Ladies and gentlemen, write us in and tell us who it was before I Google it, because I don't do the Google thing. Okay, what is your first thing of news?
I've actually watched quite a bit since we last spoke, and where do I start, man? Okay, I know you watched a couple of these, so let's go ahead and do this first. We'll talk about the ones that we've seen not together, but we've both seen.
Yes.
And I think the first one I'm going to go with is The Shape of Water. I knew that we were going to get a beautiful movie, just because it's Guillermo, and I love his style. Pan's Labyrinth, in the vein of Pan's Labyrinth, I think there was a little bit of that in there. Steve, I got to tell you, I loved this movie. I really, really did. I just thought it was one of the most beautifully shot movies that I've seen in a very long time. I loved the story. It was almost like a fairy tale element to it, but it was like a very dark fairy tale. Michael Shannon had a way of creeping in there like the Grim Reaper and making things real dark at the time. But I just loved the story, man. I was way more impressed than I thought I was going to be. Let's just say that. I
have to totally agree with you. I mean, there are shots in this movie that I have never seen before, except in it almost seems like a fairy tale scene. Like when there are scenes with them floating, embracing together with light shining from the other side. It's like, this is straight out of a fairy tale. So what Guillermo does so well is he centers it in reality, but he also does things that is just like, oh, we're kind of not there's a part where I'm not going to tell you what they fill with water, but they fill up something impossible to fill with water. It just wouldn't work the way they do it. And they float in this room full of water, which would be impossible. But they make it happen, letting you know, oh no, we are kind of not in reality, kind of. But we are. Yeah. And
the physics were all messed up.
Yes, but it's beautiful how they do it. And Doug Jones, man. Doug Jones has been great in numerous Guillermo del Toro movies. And he just plays creatures very well. From Pan's Labyrinth to this. He knows how to play a creature. And in my opinion, this is what should be getting Oscars. What he does with real effects should be getting Oscars. I don't want to argue, with the whole, homeboy that does the Planet of the Apes. But what Doug Jones brings to characters in costumes, it doesn't even make it seem real.
It's truly amazing with the job that this guy does.
It's
and Guillermo
amazing.
knows it. Guillermo del Toro knows it, which is why he's kept him close.
Yes, dude.
And I hope he continues to use him for these beautiful pictures that he makes, because Doug Jones said nothing the entire time. Doug Jones playing the amphibian man. Hey, real quick, just in case no one knows what we're talking about, which it's kind of hard to avoid this one. It's been all over the place.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No worries. But I just thought I would maybe just give the quick synopsis of what it is. It's basically, I'm just reading this off of IMDb. It says at a top secret research facility in the 1960s, a lonely janitor forms a unique relationship with an amphibious creature that is being held in captivity. That alone, the whole part of being in captivity, dude, were you not feeling for this creature when Michael Shannon was
my heart, dude,
doing what he did? I'm going to try not to spoil anything, because those scenes were very powerful to me. They hit me. I felt that thing's pain.
Totally. I mean, I felt his fear when there's a part where she first meets him. Someone comes in the room, and the fear with which he retreats, you're like, oh, wow. He is scared. But the thing is, what they do is they all of it. I'm not going to tell you how it ends, obviously, but the way they redeem it and show that he's not this cowardly thing, then you're like, oh, snap. All he needed was the right environment, and he's unstoppable.
Yeah, I love the ending of that. Man.
You know what I'm saying? He is unstoppable. Here's what I'm wondering. I'm hoping, because people are really on Andy Serkis, which is dope, pushing it to say, hey, the CGI should get Oscar noms. I'm wondering if it's going to backfire, because once they say, yeah, these people that play creatures get Oscar noms, they get it on the ballot, and now Doug Jones is cleaning up. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Doug Jones is just going to clean house.
I think this year he definitely deserves it.
Oh, for sure.
But just like he did, I still think that Serkis deserves some merit too. I know we kind of share a difference of opinion on that there. You're under the impression, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it doesn't take that much skill.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah. See, I would tend to disagree with you on that there.
Okay.
I really do think that, you know, there's a reason that they keep coming back to Serkis. And, you know, you take someone like, granted, this was way before, but Ahmad Best.
Yes.
Clearly not on the same league of acting or performance. You know, he was more of a, you know, it was Jar Jar Binks, man. He was a big clown, you know, but the way that they mocap his face for Caesar, it's ridiculous. Or like you take somebody like, say, Mark Ruffalo for the Hulk, and now they've mocapped him and they're making it look like him. You know what I mean? That's
true.
That's still not on the same level as the performance that Serkis gives. That's what I think. But back to Doug Jones. This dude just delivered the freaking performance.
Oh, man.
The best performance, man, and he said nothing. I liked his incorporation of sign language and his play off of Sally Hawkins, who plays Elisa Esposito, who's a
just adorable. Just adorable she was.
I really liked her, man.
I love her. Just love her. And I don't like musical numbers, Dan.
I know this. Yes, I know this. But they played it so well.
Oh, they did such a good job.
But you know why I think I liked it?
Why?
You know why I think I liked it? Because I agree with you. I don't like it when you just, like, for instance, the Flash musical episode. I still cringe when I think about that one. Some people love it. Some people find that very beloved. It's not for me. I was never a fan of Glee or any of that kind of stuff. But I get down with my grease. I'll tell you that much. But when it comes to, you know, something where it's just a spontaneous, what would you call it? Just a spontaneous outbreak of a performance. That's not something I'm into. What I liked about it is that it was more of a fantasy for her. It was her daydreaming.
True.
And fantasizing about the love that she was developing for this creature.
Very true. And I think that's why it worked. Very good. And I loved Octavia Spencer. I thought she did a fantastic job.
She always does a fantastic job. I love
Richard
Octavia
Jenkins
Spencer.
I love him in everything. Richard Jenkins is amazing with the blackest name. I loved Michael Shannon. It's just like, if I met him in real life, I don't know if I'd be kind of, because he's played nothing but evil characters.
Yeah, he's like an intimidating looking dude. First of all, he's very hard face, very hard features.
Yes.
And he's always, like you're saying, he's always playing that evil dude.
I hope he breaks out of that.
You know, if he doesn't soon, do you think he might get typecast?
He's already typecast. I mean, remember Revolutionary Road? He was that weird guy in Revolutionary Road, and that was almost a decade ago.
Sure. And then he played, of course, General Zod recently.
Yes, that's him.
Man of Steel.
Yes, and I think that they're going to typecast him,
But he was also just in another movie where he did not play a bad guy. I believe that movie was Midnight Special.
Oh, where the kid has some sort of supernatural or
the powers. He has to wear the little So it's possible for him to break out of those roles. Could. But yes, they just know that he plays an excellent villain. Is what it is.
Totally.
So yeah, I like that too. And he killed it. Every single person in this cast killed their roles just amazingly. And I love this movie. It's the movie that this week anyway, out of everything that I've seen, it just keeps coming back to me. Just the scenes, not so much what did this mean or anything, but just the sheer beauty of this. Totally. And you know what? If you haven't seen this movie, I understand if you're like, okay, guys, we get it. It's a beautiful movie, but check it out seriously. And it's magical. And if you can see this movie on the big screen, all the better. Some movies are meant to be seen on a big screen. I definitely think this is one of them. Totally. Preferably IMAX if you can.
Yes. I agree.
But yes, so I give this movie a straight up like double, triple, quadruple thumbs up. I loved it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that one. But so we can both agree we love this one?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Moving along. Next movie I saw, Steve, was awesome. And I got to tell you, I kind of like this one better for different reasons. But that movie is 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Interesting.
You say interesting. So may I ask before I start going off on this movie how you felt about it? What did you think?
I thought it was serviceable. That's what I thought. I thought it was when I was done watching it, I was like, that was a movie. That was a competent movie. Like if someone would have handed me that movie, I'd have been like, oh, that's good. I wouldn't believe that it was getting what it's getting now. I would have been like, oh, okay. The fact that it's getting so much love, I was just like, oh, all right. But yeah, I would have thought that it was just a good movie. It's a good movie.
I feel you, man. I understand what you're saying on this one. And you know what? I guess as you're saying that, it's not, and I'm not like backtracking by any means, but I feel that maybe it was the actual individual performances.
Yes. That
really made it for me versus the movie on a whole.
Yeah. I don't even know what the plot was.
Like, I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to, like, just, like, break this whole thing down because I do like you guys. I do challenge you guys to watch these movies. But I will, again, just give you a quick synopsis. A mother personally challenges the local authorities to solve her daughter's murder when they fail to catch the culprit. That's essentially the movie. That's it. So, again, I can kind of agree with you that, you can't compare a movie like this to Shape of Water. They're just two different ones. And when it comes to a story to be told, then yes, I think that Shape of Water personally is a better movie. But the performances in this movie, I know I'm kind of changing what I said, but the performances of this movie were outstanding. And by far, the strongest performance in this movie was none other than Frances McDormand.
She did a great job.
She killed it. And I love Frances McDormand to begin with, but I loved like her honest character about this one. I like the bitterness of her. I like that she was rough around the edges. I like that she just didn't give a shit whatsoever. And I like that the dynamics that she had with both Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell in this movie. Both, again, playing great roles. Now, you had said that you didn't really care for Woody Harrelson. Is that correct? Who plays
Sheriff
Willoughby?
I said I liked Woody Harrelson. It just, his story arc was rather lackluster for me. I was shocked. Minimal. I was like, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it's just like, well, I mean, I would have loved to see more of Woody Harrelson.
As would I. He did have minimal time in the movie, but I think that the time that he put in was just pure quality.
Fantastic.
But this movie was definitely Frances McDormand's and Sam Rockwell's movie.
Oh yeah,
they carry the majority of this movie. Sam Rockwell plays Dixon in the movie, who I believe is I'm not sure. I think he's a deputy, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't he a deputy? I think he was a deputy, but he was just like this backwoods. I don't want to sound racist, man, but he was a racist. That's what he was. He was a racist in this movie. Very backwood, lives with his mom, shouldn't be living with his mom, and full of problems in his head. And he takes those problems and he just like brings it to true life. He again, I don't really want to go into too much of this, but matter of fact, I haven't seen Sam Rockwell kill it like this. What was the last movie that I really loved him in?
I like the one where he's on Mars, or the Mars one. What was the name of that movie?
Moon.
I loved him on Moon.
Yeah, not Mars, but Moon. Yeah.
Yes, Moon. Yes.
There was a movie. Oh, you know what I really liked him in, man? I thought his character was great. Was The Way, Way Back. Have you seen that?
Have not seen that.
I'm going to have to get that one over to you. I actually have a copy of that. It's a very good movie. Nothing similar to this movie at all, but he's always been one of my favorites. Dude's cool as hell. Did you hear he dropped an F-bomb on SNL? It's funny that I say F-bomb and I cuss every time on the show, but yeah, that was a big deal for him. Did you see the footage?
I did. Everyone's like, whoa.
But I think they're a little more loose with it these days, wouldn't you say? Like, it's not like back in the day where they're...
After this week, people are saying amazing things on CNN.
That's true. That's true. You can't throw a rock 2 feet without seeing the word shithole. So,
for real. So it's in our lexicon. But here, I want to place... For all of those, I didn't hate Three Billboards. But I put it in the same vein as No Country for Old Men. Individual performances were great, but I got nothing out of the movie. I'm like, well, they sure did act their butt off, but there's no result. You're like, okay, but like what? I
actually kind of liked how it ended.
Did you really?
I did, because it was just, it was a will they or won't they kind of thing. I like that sometimes.
I want that. Either you're going to make this movie incredible, and then I'm okay with the will they or won't they, but you can't be like, ooh, so deep, so crazy, and who knows what... No. I get that enough for the indie films. I get that.
But it's like without getting into the will they or won't they portion, that's like a whole other movie. Not that they'll make a sequel to it, But that's why I liked it. It was left for you. It was left for your imagination to see, will they or won't they?
Totally.
It's a pretty major thing that they were going to do.
Yes, I totally get that. And look, the individual performances were incredible. I loved them. I thought they were good, but I think also if you would have said, "Hey, Steve, check out this movie if you get a chance," and I would have went to the theater and seen it, I'd be like, "Oh, that was interesting." But I think it was the sheer volume of you have to see thisness where, okay, well then I have to see it. And then I left being like, I wonder why I had to see it.
Coming from me or just coming from the general press?
No, coming from press. You just said you should watch. You didn't even say anything about it. You're like, I watched this movie, check it out. You said nothing really more about it. So I was like, oh, okay. But the press was going crazy. And this is a press crazy movie. I would have walked out and been like, the press is going to love this movie.
I definitely feel stronger about this movie than you do. And I see your point. I really do. But I think that the individual performances that I put into this movie are Oscar worthy. And now I have not seen The Post yet. I was actually planning on going to see that maybe today, maybe tomorrow. A couple other ones that I still need to see. But I definitely think that out of all of the movies that I've seen so far, outside of perhaps Allison Janney from I, Tonya, I think that it's her. And then Frances McDormand as far as like best actress, but I think Allison Janney is actually going to be a supporting actress. I think that Frances McDormand's going to take it this year, dude.
Here's my issue. She won Best Actress in the Golden Globes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Over Sally Hawkins.
Now Sally Hawkins gave a fantastic performance.
Who said nothing
right.
through the whole movie.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that you should take into consideration. I know I did. I'm just saying personally. Wow. And I loved Sally Hawkins in this one. I have never seen her before or anything. I kind of fell in love with her in this role.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's
everything
great.
had to be expressed by acting.
Amazingly.
Just your facial.
At that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Come on.
I found, no, seriously, she was able to portray, I'm talking about Sally Hawkins, she was able to be sexy. She was able to emote. She was able to do all of these things without saying word one. And that's definitely something that you got to take into consideration here. But Frances McDormand played a woman that had seen some miles and had a lot of hatred in her heart for reasons that I won't get into and a lot of just pain. And I felt that with her. It resonated with me. And I would definitely give it to her over Sally Hawkins. That's just my opinion, though.
Okay, totally fair.
You guys can make your own opinions, people.
Yes. Write in and tell me how much I'm right. Go on.
Go ahead. It's the new Steve. Make sure you title that New Steve at Heroes of Noise.
Steve, yes.
So that's about it for that one there. What else did I see this week? I saw a few other things. One that stood out to me, not so much stood out to me, but it was a little better than I expected it to be. I went in expecting one thing and I came out with another. And that movie is something that y'all can catch on Netflix right now. It's actually from 2016, but it was just released last week, and it is called Before I Awake. Any thoughts on this one? Have you seen this one?
I'm at a certain point in it where they're realizing what is going on.
Oh, so you did start it then.
Yes,
okay.
And here's the thing. I had to turn it off because I wasn't in the heartbreaking mood because the kid was so adorable. And he was saying this "I'm sorry" thing, and I'm like, I don't think I could do it right now. Because I have a feeling
kid is great. By the way,
oh my, his eyes were already starting to get kind of baggy, and I'm like, is this going to be a heartbreaking movie? If so, I can't do it right now. So I had to turn on something happy.
Okay, all right, I can feel that.
Yeah.
So this movie, I went into it. What it is, let me go ahead and break this one down for you, or give you the synopsis. A young couple adopt an orphan child whose dreams and nightmares manifest physically as he sleeps. That's it. Now, it's really set up. I don't want to ruin this one for you now because I realize that you're in the middle of it, so I don't want to like sway it. That kind of changes the way I'm going to go about this here. But the movie stars Kate Bosworth as Jessie, the mom. It's got Thomas Jane, who plays Mark, the dad. And then again, this kid that we're talking about is Jacob Tremblay, who plays Cody. And he's an amazing little actor, man. There's some quality actors coming into the field now, man, that are young. You know what I mean? I'm going to put him up there with Ian Armitage from Young Sheldon. Another great actor. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this kid's been, what he's going to bring to the table. Have you ever seen him before in anything else?
I have not.
Yeah, neither have I. I'm trying to think real quick. Oh, you know what? He was the kid in Room.
Oh, Room.
Not The Room.
Okay.
Not The Room. Yeah. Okay. I'm talking about the one with Brie Larson, man.
Okay. I haven't seen that movie yet.
He's not that kid. He's not the kid. He's not a baby face.
I haven't seen Room yet.
I have not seen that movie either. I was just checking it out.
Watch instantly.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not one that I'll be picking up anytime soon. There's too much.
Yes. You have to be, just like me with this movie. That is a credit to how good the kid is. The kid is like, you're going to have to deal with me being brokenhearted. And I'm like, you're so adorable. I don't know if I could do that right now.
See, I have to figure out a way to craftily do this without ruining the movie for you. Because I wanted to talk about it. I didn't realize, I figured you were going to fully watch it. I didn't think you were going to stop. So now I'm sort of torn on whether how far I go.
You can do it without just doing that. Just say what you thought about it, like what you liked about it.
Well, what I liked about it is that, like I said, it starts off and you're thinking that this is going to be a horror movie. And it's truly not a horror movie. It's more of like more of a psychological thriller. But again, it does have, it's peppered with elements of a horror movie. But what I like about it, and this is, again, I'm not sure I really want to, do I want to tell you this? I guess I will. All of the horror aspects of this movie, all of the fantasy, anything that you see that's supernatural in this movie should be taken. Tell you what, Steve, I want you to stop me if you think that this is ruining, and I'll actually take this out, okay?
Okay.
But what I think is that it's all of that is seen through the eyes of the child. And I think that's important. I don't know if it sounds important to you right now, but I think that at the end, you'll understand what I'm getting at here. There's a way that, the aesthetics of the movie, the way that things look, the way they're presented, the threats that are imposed, it's all should be kind of taken with a grain of salt when you're watching it, because it's coming from a child's point of view. And that's the best I could say it. I don't want to ruin the movie for these people. Okay. I do feel that it's a good movie. I don't think it's it's a must-see, stop everything and go and check this movie out. But I do think that it's pretty good. Backstory with this one is that it was actually filmed, like I said, in 2016. And the company, it's directed by Mike Flanagan. And are you familiar with Mike Flanagan, sir?
That's a negatory.
Mike Flanagan, you are actually familiar with. You've seen Oculus?
Yes, I love Oculus.
It's a very Mike Flanagan type movie. I think it has that same kind of feel of Oculus. But see, I'm torn because I was prepared to go in and like really talk about this with you. And now I feel like I should kind of back off because I don't really want to ruin it. And I feel like everything that I've said so far could in fact be led to.
Well, it starts off with a bang, because if you like Ray Donovan, it starts off with a guy named Dash Mahawk. He plays the brother on Ray Donovan, and he does a great job opening this film as a father who's kind of, you could tell something's wrong. He has a gun, and he does such a great job. But if you're a Ray Donovan fan, he kills it in 3 minutes. So check it out. Yeah,
and it will circle back to him too. I'll give you that.
Oh, real? I love him. Yeah. I mean, Ray Donovan.
I can't go any more into it. Yeah.
Okay.
I really want to talk about this next week when you finish watching it.
No doubt, for sure.
Because I want to know if you understand what I'm meaning about how it's all kind of seen through the eyes of the child, and I got to stop there because you'll understand why once you watch it. Okay. I give it a recommendation. I don't know if it's necessarily something, like I said, you need to just stop everything you're doing and watch it here. But like I was saying, this movie lost funding in 2016, and it just kind of went by the wayside. And so Netflix picked it up, like they're doing lots of that these days. They're just taking these movies and they're basically slapping a Netflix original title on it, and there you go. So if you look around on Twitter, I think that the general consensus is that this is actually a pretty good movie. You do have your horror snobs that were expecting one thing and they did not get that. But fear not. I think you're in for a treat if you watch this one.
Cool. Done deal.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Next up on my week's watch, I watched Coco, man.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye, remember me. Don't let it make you cry, for even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart, remember me.
Dude, I loved Coco, and I'm not like a big animation guy. There's just something about this movie.
You have a big heart.
You know what? I'm finding that it's getting bigger by the second as I get older. First and foremost, I want to tell you that I did not cry at this movie, and that's a total lie. I did. No, I did. I had some tears streaming down my face at the end of this here. And like I've always kind of, likened it to, I've associated it to, rather. I think that as I've gotten older and I've lost some very significant people in my life, this movie reminds me of them. The music's great. The animation is so freaking stellar. Great storyline, great characters. It's got laughs. It's a really fun movie. There's adventure in it. Once everything kind of plays out, there's this musical scene at the end. And if I'm going to tell you folks right now, if you don't well up just a little bit, if you have no emotion, then your soul is dead. Like I'm telling you, this movie seriously affected me. And I thought it was just a beautiful movie, a very fun movie. I recommend everyone take their family. If you have small kids, take them to see this movie. If you want them to pay attention to their family, and if you're into your Mexican heritage, then this is definitely another movie for you. It's fucking great, Steve. I can't tell you how much I really like this one. So please go see it, dude.
I do like Gal Garcia Bernal. He's in Mozart in the Jungle, and he's a great actor. He's fantastic. So when I found out he was one of the lead actors, I'm like, oh, I'm all over it.
Can you just say his name again?
Gael Garcia Bernal.
Garcia Bernal. I'm going to have you come with me to a Mexican restaurant and you can order all the food.
No, this is for my sister. She's teaching me Spanish. So she's like, you have to learn how to do that. Even if you don't sound right, you have to make the effort because people will be like, oh, he's not even trying. He's not even trying.
No, I'm impressed with I'm impressed with it, man. Good job.
I'm trying, dude. Because my brother-in-law, my amazing brother-in-law, my incredible, awesome brother-in-law for the great Argentina, he's helping me, learn how to speak the native language also, and I love him so much. So, Michael, if you're out there, I love you. Can't wait to see you.
Big Mike B.
Big Mike B. Bruno.
Welcome to the family, Bruno. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Haven't addressed you yet, but family to Steve is family to me. So we're kind of like brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Really
so
all
Mike
have to,
B
for
is my
real,
brother.
we all have to get together.
I think that would be a good idea. Man.
I think it would be, and then you could cook. He eats meat.
Yeah, but then I got to throw out some lettuce, rabbit food for you.
Yes, dude.
Let's do it on your turf.
Bruh, you know how to cook. You can cook anything. You can cook anything well.
Now, I'll hook you up. What do you like? You like portobello mushroom?
Perfect.
I'll make you something with portobello mushrooms that'll blow your mind. I have no idea what it is yet, but it will be good. Yes, we're going to get together. We're going to have a family reunion, man.
Yes.
A family introduction.
I'm already ready. I'm emotionally ready to cry in Coco. Because the themes are touching to me. Lost family is touching to me. Only because, look, the other side where you're like, oh, now I'm on the other side. That is such a thing where it has to exist for people. Because they can't imagine that this is the last time they're seeing these people. There's the last time they've seen their loved ones. So there has to be another side. And so I'm already ready. I'm ready.
It builds up there's such a feeling of desperation in some of the characters of what they have to do, but just, I gotta be ready. But dude, I'm telling you, man, the family aspect of this movie is one of the more emotional ones that I've seen, particularly, like I say, in a Pixar movie. We're used to dealing with loss in Disney movies like that. That's kind of like the standard. It seems like there's always a dead parent or a dead relative or something like that. This one tends to not make it so much of a sad thing as it is as a happy thing. You come out feeling uplifted out of this movie, even though you may have some tears in your eyes, like I may or may not have. And but yeah, I'm not going to overplay it too much, guys. Coco is wonderful. Check it out. You will love this movie.
This is the one that I think is going to probably end up killing many things that most critics say are the best movie of the year. I think this one, because of the themes, might be like, you know what, that one touched me the most out of all the movies. Only because the themes are right there. Again, Bernal is the guy. Have you seen Mozart in the Jungle?
I have not.
He's just incredible, dude. He is simply incredible. You know what I'm saying? It's like watching 20-something movies. He's just incredible. And so,
what is his name again?
Gael, Gael. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Garcia Bernal. B-E-R-N-A-L.
Gael, maybe? I think it's Gael. Yeah, there you go.
Gael?
I'm looking at it now. I would guess it would be Gael. Gael Garcia Bernal.
He's so good in Mozart in the Jungle.
There's a lot of people in this movie that I'm actually not familiar with who they are.
Neither am I. He's the only one I really know who he is, except I don't know. I'm looking at the cast, and I'm not familiar with a lot of them, but I think I will be now.
You've got a few standards that are always going to be there. You've got your Benjamin Bratt.
He's so good.
You've got your Gabriel Iglesias is in this movie.
I don't know who that is.
Gabriel Iglesias, man, is he's Fluffy. He's the comedian. Fluffy.
Yeah, I don't know him. No.
He's a great comedian. Check him out. Okay. It's Netflix. There's I don't even know which one he's on. He's on his umpteenth special on Netflix, but I find him pretty funny. Comes to Fresno every year.
Almost. Never mind.
And of course, yes.
Come on.
Edward James Olmos.
What are we talking about? Cheech Marin. Come on.
Yeah.
Cheech Marin.
So see, there's a few. There's definitely familiar people there, but there's a lot. If I'm just looking at the cast right now, there's a lot of unfamiliar names that I personally, I don't know.
And that's my fault. I should maybe, because I'm sure that there's certain people that are like, oh, we know who they are, but now I'm going to be focusing on who
you took the words
are.
out of my mouth. Yeah. Actually, that's what I was going to say. It's kind of my fault. I haven't really, looked into it too much as far as, but just looking at these names, I'm finding that I'm paying a lot more. Go figure. I'm paying a lot more attention to the actors in movies now, and trying to strengthen up my database, because I find that when I'm talking about these movies, I do find myself in pauses trying to remember where they're from or their names or something like that. So again, look at me 2 years from now, because this is the stuff I'm working on. I'm going to be like freaking just rattling off like it's no big deal.
Nice. Oh, man.
But I loved it. If I haven't said that enough, I absolutely love this movie. I have not seen Ferdinand, which is one of the movies that it's up against, or the other ones for that matter. I don't think I've seen any of the other movies that are in the animated category. But I will be damn surprised if this movie doesn't take it.
Well, I know they took it didn't they take animated for the Golden Globes?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Won. But I'm talking about when the Oscars come up, I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything changing.
They put way too much. I mean, not saying that other ones didn't, but the detail, even the guitar playing, the detail they paid to this movie is going to be insane, because they're actually playing the right chords on the guitar when the people are strumming.
I noticed that.
That's crazy.
I noticed that. Yeah,
that's crazy.
As someone that kind of messes around with guitar, I could tell that they were doing the real deal, and I thought that got bonus points right there. Next up on my list is My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, which is on Netflix.
Oh, cool.
I had a show for a long time, and then I didn't have a show for a long time, and I can't tell you how great it is to be out of the damn house. Wow. You never know when you might learn something, and that's what this is about for me. These are people that I admire. On that note, hang on.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Letterman is back. Were you a Dave Letterman fan?
I was a tangential fan. I liked him. I knew he had a show, but I wouldn't break my neck to watch it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I actually got to go see Dave Letterman when I was in New York and back in 2009. I've always been a fan. I didn't watch every single show the guy's ever been in because I work and it's always on late at night. You know what I'm saying? But I love David Letterman, and I was very happy to see him back. So this one is basically a return to the talk show format, but without all the bells and whistles. There's no Paul Schaefer or anything like that. This is just Dave Letterman on a stage interviewing these certain celebrities. I believe that there are 6 shows that are available right now. Or excuse me, they're not available just yet, but they're coming out week to week, which I like, as you know. It's just like Runaways. I like that. It made me want to go, because I was ready just to go ahead and hit play on the next one, and of course it wasn't there. But this one, I was even more pleasantly surprised because it had Barack Obama on it. And yes, it was just so nice to hear what a true president sounds like. Someone as graceful and classy as he is. And sitting down with David Letterman in this candid interview, it was a surprise to the audience, first of all. Like, I don't think that the people know. That's what I took. Maybe there's a little bit of, cinema magic going on there, but that's what I was under the impression, that they did not know who they were going to see. They knew that David Letterman was going to be there. They knew that he was going to have a show, but they did not know who the guests were. So the feeling that came out of the crowd when Barack walked on stage was amazing. And Barack is just on point on this. I'm really surprised you didn't watch it, actually.
Oh, I'm going to. I just have to be ready because, again, that's a Coco situation. It's like, Didn't We Almost Have It All by Whitney Houston.
Yeah. It made me really miss him, man. It made me really miss him. He's just so damn classy. And you know what? There I go again. I was actually getting more emotional watching this than I've seen for some other things, just because it's like you said, didn't we almost have it all?
God, dude, it's so. And the thing is, here's what David Letterman is good at. And I think he don't get enough credit, because they say, how people say Howard Stern is the best interviewer? He's great. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He'll make people say the dumbest things known to man, and they walk out of the interview like, why did I even tell him that? Howard Stern is great at that. But David Letterman is good at pulling a good interview out of someone that's dull. He can pull a good interview out of, and so when you get someone that's conversational, David Letterman can just have a normal conversation with. There are no like cue cards being like, so what looks like you're doing this next week. No, he can just have a natural conversation with somebody. And that's his gift. I think Carson had that gift too, to be able to just it's not just, I'm just here to talk about my new movie, talk about my new show. We're here to actually have a conversation. How are you doing? How are things going? David Letterman knows how to do that. He's gifted at that. And so I think people don't give him enough credit for being probably the best interviewer ever.
Man, he is way up there, and I can't argue with that. He's awesome.
It's hard.
It's nice
really
to see him
thing.
come back.
Yeah.
It was nice to see him come back when he still got that big old scraggly beard. That
Yes.
was like something that Obama had mentioned. Like, I thought you were going to shave. Or no, it starts off and he's like talking to him on the phone. It's like the very beginning. He's like, yeah, so I've got this new show and they're giving me 6 episodes and no, I still have the beard. As he's talking to Barack. And Barack plays off him very well. But you know what was cool about this dude? It wasn't just Barack. It was actually a little lesson into the history of civil rights as well. And it actually has John Lewis is on the show. He kind of blends in John Lewis into this here and talks about, when he walked across that bridge during the Martin Luther King, with the Martin Luther King March. Mm-hmm. The respect that David Letterman gives to him and Barack on this here, it's real. It's not like, oh, thank you for doing my show. And I'm just going to like nod my head and agree with you. Like, they get into it. You know what I mean?
That's really dope.
It's really dope. And I was thinking that, it was just going to be a very small portion of the show, but John Lewis is on it for quite a while. And then they take it back to Barack and they just go on. And I'm telling you, man, as happy as I was to see Barack on this show, it made me a little bit sad too, but when they got into them, crossing, it was the Edmund Pettus Bridge, I believe
mm-hmm.
what it was. Yeah. And, Congressman John Lewis, I should give him his respect,
mm-hmm.
but no, they walk across the bridge and they're just talking and he's telling his story, and they do kind of touch on present day administration, but they do it in a way that's just so classy.
Of course.
That they don't even pay it any mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
dope.
just, it's an acknowledgement to, I understand that, but let's talk about us a little bit more and the important things. And I thought it was just very well done. So I'm really curious to see what you, as always, I'm very curious to see what you think about this show too.
I am gonna check it out.
The upcoming guests that I have so far, let's see, I believe it's Malala, if I'm saying it correctly, Yousafzai. Mm-hmm. How do you say that, Steve? Do you know what I'm talking about? Malala.
I just always called her Malala. Yeah.
Malala will work.
Yes.
Tina Fey is going to be on here. Jay-Z is going to be on this, and Howard Stern. Speaking of Howard Stern, is going to be on the show too. So I think this is going to be a great show. 6 weeks. I'm thinking they come out a week apart. Mm-hmm. Check it out. It's right there for you for your viewing enjoyment if you've got the Netflix. So yes, very good.
Speaking of civil rights, it's funny because back in my younger days, I was a seat filler for award shows, and
you told me that actually.
Yeah, and people always ask, "Hey, who was the biggest star you met or saw?" And I was like, "It's easy, Rosa Parks." When Rosa Parks rolled next to me, I was like, oh my
Hold up.
Yeah.
Stop.
That happened.
Did you meet her?
No. No. All of us were like, we bow to you. We will not just walk up. Hi there. No.
Wow, man. When was this?
When I was about 21, 22.
And how did you get into this? Let's tell that story real quick. And I remember you talking to me about it, but it's been a long time.
It was my mom thought I was going to be murdered because it was just a normal, hey, do you have a look? Can you wear a suit? And so I showed up to this thing and my mom was like, you're going to be murdered. So it's been nice knowing you. And, but they're like, no, we're just going to take you on a trip. And what you do is, you fill the seats when the stars, you're going to go to a award show. When the stars get up to get their trophy, you're going to fill that seat so that it looks filled. When you do it on TV, the place looks filled because they have to get up and get their awards. We don't want spotty looks on national television. So when they got up and get their awards, I would just sit in their seat. Now, sometimes it was so sparse that you would just sit there the whole award show. Like I know one of the shows I sat, do you remember Ananda Lewis from MTV?
I do.
I sat next to her a whole show. We just talked.
Oh, really?
She was like, oh, are you a CFO? I'm like, yes. Oh, get out of here. Really? And so we just talked the whole thing now. And then remember I told you that's when I had that conversation with Lorenz Tate. That's how I had that talk. Is because I was just a seat filler.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. And then I met Malcolm X's daughter. I did say hi to her. And then I was walking to get to my seat and someone was like, excuse me, son. And I walked and I stepped to the side and it was Felicia Rashad, the best mom of all time.
Wow. She said, excuse me, son, to you?
She's like, excuse me, son. I'm like, oh my God. There's a million little moments like that I look back, I'm like, oh, that's right, that happened. And let me amend that. She's the best TV mom of all time. My mom's the best mom of all time. So, but she's the best TV mom
recovery
of all. And it was just almost the air there are some people, I gotta admit, I'm like, oh, I see why they're famous. Because where they walk, like Morgan Freeman, when he walked by, he brought an air of, oh my goodness, that's Morgan Freeman. Like, there is no, oh, he's just a guy that got lucky. No. When he walked by, you're like, no, yep, he's famous because he's that. So,
now, what awards was this again?
I went to the NAACP awards, and I forgot the other award show I went to.
And what made you stop doing it?
It was just one day I made a point. I'm like, I will never go to another award show until I'm getting an award.
Look at you. All right.
So that's
I like that.
Yes. So
got to pull all these quotes, man, from when you're big and rich and famous.
Like, thank you for the podcast award. I want to say I knew I would get this joint. You know what I'm saying? Listen to podcast number 2.
Not saying. That's hilarious, man.
All right. So what's up, man?
I can't believe you were in the presence of Rosa Parks, man. That's pretty impressive.
Dude. That was the biggest person I've ever met before. There's no,
Yeah.
It's not even close.
I see your point though. You just bow. You just bow and acknowledge.
And Malcolm X's daughter was huge because it's just like, oh, your dad was Malcolm X. I don't know what to say, and you're a big presence, so I'm gonna leave. She was
amazing,
beautiful. Ananda Lewis, though, dear Lord, she's so pretty up close that it doesn't seem real. It just doesn't seem real. She was so pretty, dude.
And how long were you talking to her for? You said you were sitting next to her like the whole. Oh, okay, all right, that's cool. Did you get the digits, man?
No, bruh. You know what though? Here's what I'll tell you. Now that Jermaine Dupri's with Janet Jackson, bruh, what the crap was I thinking?
Anything's possible.
Anything. I could have just been like, hey, look, I know this is a long shot, but boom, ask for the digits. Who knows what could have happened, G? I was a sucker.
If Gabrielle ever gets freed up, I think you need to set your sights and just go for it. You have my full support. I'll do whatever I can for you.
Maybe she'll see me going like, you know what I'm saying? I won this award. She'll be like, I like him. Who is that outspoken individual at the podcast awards?
I do know what he's saying.
I do know Sam. I know Sam.
I do know Sam. And that's how I met your mother.
Yes. That is perfect. She is so bad. Oh my Lord. Whew. Is there a bad picture of Gabrielle Union?
I have yet to find one, but if I do, you'll be the first to know.
I'm not going to ask you because you're married, but
I appreciate that. I'm sure she does too.
Yes, I'm not gonna ask you, but I always was wondering who was your wife's your Gabrielle Union. The end.
What are you talking about? Like movie star? Like everyone's got their list.
Who's your movie star Gabby? Who is that for you? Because I've never heard you talk about anybody.
Wow. Let me get back to you on that. I'll give you an answer. I have to think about that one for a little bit.
All right. So it's
not something I'm usually busting out. I'm going to close it out here with, and I haven't seen a lot of these yet, but I did find myself intrigued in watching this. And it's actually called The End of the, earmuffs kids, The End of the Fucking World, which is on Netflix.
Yes.
I'm James. I'm 17. And I'm pretty sure I'm a psychopath. Hey?
I'm not saying he's the answer. Hey, but he's something.
I thought she could be interesting to kill.
Are you waiting for me?
So I pretended to fall in love with her.
I feel comfortable with him. Sort of safe. I'm serious. Let's leave this town now. Let's get out of here. Yeah!
Please.
We should do the washing up. Keep the change.
James is weird, but he's not dangerous. Do you want a lift or not?
Jesus. Drive! We need to find them. Are you scared?
I don't know.
I am 3 episodes in right now. And End of the Fucking World is actually based off of a graphic novel. James is 17 and he's pretty sure he's a psychopath. Alyssa, also 17, is the cool and moody new girl at school. The pair make a connection and she persuades him to embark on a road trip in search of her real father. What it comes down to basically is James is 17. He's of the opinion that he's actually a psychopath and is capable of being like a serial killer. It starts off very quickly you realize why he's the way that he is. He starts off like he's, dismembering animals as a young kid. He does a couple of things. Oh, by the way, there are some pretty good differences from what I read, from the Netflix version versus the graphic novel. So there are differences there. And if that's one of your, stickler points, then, beware. But he just starts off. There's a part where, and I don't think I'm ruining anything. This is actually on the trailer. At one point when he's a kid, his dad has this deep fryer. He just decides to stick his hand in the deep fryer because he wanted to feel something. This kid's got issues, but he befriends this girl simply because he feels like she could be the one that he's able to murder. He wanted to move on to something bigger than animals, and he befriends her. He kind of tricks her into thinking that he's in love with her. Craziness happens, and they end up on this road trip. Like I said, I'm 3 episodes in, but it's totally worth the watch. I have nothing to compare it to because I've never read the graphic novel, but so far I'm very much into it. It stars Jessica Barden as Alyssa. Alex Lothar is actually playing James. And then there's a lot of people in this here, episode to episode. I'll throw some names out. Maybe they'll ring a bell with you, Steve. Steve Oram. There's Wunmi Musaku. Gemma Wellen. I don't know. None of these names are actually ringing a bell. But hey, if you know these people, there they are. That's what they're in. I'd like to get back to this one because I think that there's more to it. I'd like to see how it all ends up for this season, but it's definitely on my recommendation list. As far as Netflix goes, this is definitely one of the ones you should be watching right now.
Dope.
That's it for me though, man. It's just that kind of a week. Right. I think I kind of went in order of what hit me the best, except for Coco. Coco should probably be if anything made me emote, it was definitely Coco. But I liked everything that I've seen so far. I do, like I've said, I try not to really get into why do you want to hear me tell you something sucks? I'd rather just tell you what I'm into and what I think you should be watching. So if you're into this show blows, or this movie sucks, this isn't really that. Every once in a while it may come up. There may be something that we both watched. And like, for instance, Bright. We just didn't feel that. I did want to address something, and I'm sorry, I'm a little babbly, but before I turn it over to you, I wanted to say a couple of things about last week's show. One of them was that I apologize, folks. I didn't really, we kind of advertised that it was going to be a Bright review, or it was featuring Bright on the show. And I in retrospect, I don't think we really hit that well enough. I feel that, I wasn't very impressed with this movie. I didn't think it was as bad as a lot of people were saying. I didn't think it was a great movie. But after thinking about everything that I said on the show last week, which wasn't much, I feel that, I don't hate this movie as much as everyone else does. I think I will end up watching it again. And I think that it actually had a little bit of potential, but it's not like I'm going to come back next week and go, hey guys, I was completely wrong. It was like the best movie I've ever seen. But I don't think I gave that one a fair shot. And I just wanted to point that out. So the other thing that I wanted to correct myself on was I had mentioned CBS All Access last week. I was misinformed. I apologize about that. I had told you good folks that if you had simply had the Amazon Prime app, it was kind of like all inclusive. You would get CBS All Access. Not the case at all. So you still actually have to have, and some of you probably already know this and are like, yeah, I know, fucker, I tried to do it. But you need to have a subscription still. It's a pay subscription to CBS All Access. So I was a little disappointed because I was ready to get down and watch Discovery like all the way through and knock it out. And I found out that I was only able to watch the first one for free, the teaser. So it's the one I've already seen. So my apologies to you good folks there. It looks like you still have to shell out some money if you want to see this one here. Or be smart about it and just wait until it's all over and then just binge it over the week and then you're good to go. So there you go.
Totally. And also know that their trial is only 3 days. So if you're going to binge it, try to do it in 3 days. Is it really 3 days? CBS is, they do it for 3 days so that you really can't.
Those dirty dogs. They're going to make you work for it.
They know, G.
I think there's 12 episodes right now, maybe 11 or 12.
Yeah.
So you're going to really have to do nothing if you're going to do that, I guess.
So I only got 2 things. The first one is a show called Halt and Catch Fire.
Oh, you were raving about this week.
I don't even want to. Here's what I'll say. It's about the beginning of computers and how people had to kind of fight to beat IBM and all these, how this theoretical company has to fight and beat these massive companies like IBM, Apple, Microsoft to try to beat them at the software and hardware business. I don't want to say more than that because we see what happens now. We already know where this thing is going. So when you're seeing them come up with maybe software security is a way to go. Like we know already. So we're just like, yes, do that thing. And some people missed the boat. Some people didn't. So if you're interested in software, coding, engineering, computer engineering, software engineering, you're going to love this show. I think they canceled it after season 4, which is unfortunate, but it's on Netflix and it's called Halt and Catch Fire. Check it out.
I will definitely do that. I remember when we were talking about, when we were doing The Word, I believe that Halt and Catch Fire is it another show that's actually on AMC?
That's on AMC, yep.
So is it canceled?
Yes.
Are they still doing? I think. Oh, okay. I was under the impression that they were actually doing one more season.
I think that was it. The 4th season was it.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay.
So
that's the only reason that's on my radar for some reason is that I'd heard of the show, but I think that it was the association with AMC that made that name stick out.
It is so good, dude. It's incredibly good.
Who's in it?
The people now, a few of them, you're going to know their face, but you're not going to know, like for me, I was like, I've seen Homeboy in this and some of them I hadn't seen at all. Like some of them I was just like, wow, that's an interesting looking character. They're going to be something one day. The main guy is named Lee Pace. I've never seen him except for Halt and Catch Fire. You might have seen him. I haven't. And he plays Joe McMillan. He plays him fantastically. There's no character that's kind of, I think the closest character that's like him is the main guy from Mad Men. They have the same dry look.
Dude, do you know who Lee Pace is?
I have no idea.
You do know who Lee Pace is. You do, actually.
What?
He played Ronan. He played Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did he?
Yeah, that's Ronan, man.
I didn't know that. Wait. Are you sure?
And I believe he was also in, was it Pushing Daisies? Yeah, Pushing Daisies, yeah. Thank you, IMDb. Yeah, he's been in more than you think. He was actually in The Hobbit, all of the Hobbit movies, but I know you're not a Lord of the Rings cat. What else was he in? He played, now I can't tell you who on this one here, but I'm sure people would know right away. He played Garrett in Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn. What else? He was in the Book of Henry.
Have not seen that.
This dude's all over the place, man.
I'm only recognizing him from this, which kind of maybe helped. Because I only know his face from this thing. So it wasn't like, oh, that's Homeboy from Homeboy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, he does an amazing job. Let alone, like, Mackenzie Davis, dude. Oh, my gosh. She is so good in this show. There's Carrie Bish, who plays Donna Clark, who's amazing. Scoot McNairy, you've seen him on a lot of stuff.
That's a hell of a name, too.
Yes. You've seen him on a lot of things, but he's the guy from that thing. And he does an amazing job. Toby Huss, I had never seen him until he played Boz. They call him Boz. His name is John Bosworth on the show, but everyone calls him Boz. Until he plays Boz on this show, I mean, he is incredible. And I haven't got to the part where Anna Klumsky's in this show. I haven't even gotten there yet. So
What season are you on?
I'm on season 2. 2. I'm in season 2. And It is, everyone I've given it to has texted me and said, dear Lord, what have you done? Because it's just, you just keep on going. Because you want to know what happens next. It's not a cliffhanger. It's just like, oh, I wonder what they do next. Oh, I wonder what they do to get over that. And there's also scenes where they're pitching stuff to angel investors from back in the day, saying this is the next big thing. And the angel investor's like, well, that's impossible. And there's little scenes where they're sending a picture. You hear this, and then a picture comes up and they're like, holy crap, that's over my phone line. Pretty cool, huh? You're like, oh, it's going to be so much bigger than you know. It's so cool. But that's how it started. Stuff like this. So if you have a chance, check out Halt and Catch Fire. It's on Netflix. Watch instantly right now. All the seasons. Just binge it or watch it as you can.
Also on Amazon as well.
Oh, it's on Amazon Watch?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, then check it out. So Halt and Catch Fire, that's number 1. The second one is something
nice, man.
You tried, but couldn't finish. It's called It Stains the Sand Red.
before you go into it, I've only seen the preview. So I can't even say that I tried it yet.
Don't.
You know what I mean? To be fair.
Everybody, here's what I'll say. Here's a great advice. I am a zombie head. I love zombie movies. Even if they're bad, some of them are good. This is one of the, in my opinion, exceptional ones with an exceptional premise. I'm not going to even tell you the premise, but it is not the a million zombies all over the place. It's the, what if you missed the text message or the phone call that there was a zombie apocalypse and you just happened upon maybe one or two, but you are now alone with one or two. What do? You sleep, they don't. They will always be after you because you're the only one within the vicinity. What do? You could try to kill them, but if you don't know how to, in this world where zombies aren't a thing, you don't know how to kill zombies. So you don't know a headshot kills them. You just know you damaged them really bad and they got up again. What do? So it's a really good and interesting exercise on that premise. And if you like zombie movies, you won't be disappointed. And I'm eager to hear where all my zombie heads are as far as this movie, because I really dug it. And I'm interested, if you ever do finish it, Dan, I'm interested in what you believe, what you think about it.
No, I'll definitely check it out, man. If it's one of those ones that you think that I should watch, then I will certainly watch it.
I would think you should watch it if you're a zombie guy.
I do love zombie movies.
Oh, well, then, yeah, you're going to like this movie.
I think that I didn't give it the fair shot because after watching the trailer, it is a low-budget movie.
Yes,
as, a lot of those are. It's a low-budget movie, and it has that low-budget look to it.
Totally.
And I didn't give it a fair shot. And that's not fair because if I just put, if I just neglect these movies that are coming up from these up and coming, filmmakers, and I'm just like dogging them out simply because of their budget, then am I really doing my part? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that, it doesn't seem fair to them. Like I wouldn't want to be in that situation. Like let's put it into example of this podcast. We're a low budget podcast right now. We're still finding our way. If someone that had a little more knowledge about these things was just to like shut us down just because we weren't where we should be or something like that, that wouldn't be very fair. So I guess I'm just kind of seeing I don't know if it's necessarily hypocrisy or anything like that, but I'm seeing the error of my ways. I should watch this movie and I should give it a chance. I shouldn't just base it upon aesthetics.
And I'm big into independent horror movies. Like I want to see, if I can't make it all the way through, fine. But normally I give them a shot only because there was a movie a while back called The Battery. And it was a very low budget zombie movie. And I'm glad I watched it. But it's things like that where I wouldn't have ever seen it had I not just said, hey, you know what? Let me give this a shot. And some of these people are just talented movie makers where you give them $15 and they're giving you a really, now if you're like, oh, that doesn't look like a real severed hand. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, yes, I get that. But can you just suspend your disbelief for a second and just say, okay, well, let me see the overall theme of this movie. But again, it's called It Stains the Sand Red, and it's an interesting exercise on the zombie premise. So check it out. It's on Netflix. Watch instantly.
Actually, you know what, Matt? I don't think it is on Netflix. Matter of fact, I know it's not. I looked, and I'm thinking that you're mistaking Netflix for Amazon.
Oh, it's on Amazon.
On Amazon for sure. Yeah. I just wanted to put that out.
Amazon Prime, ladies and gentlemen. It's on Amazon. Yes. Okay, I didn't know that.
No worries. I just did the legwork. I thought I would do the legwork for the listeners. And
Amazon Prime that much.
No, it very well could have been on there before, but it's definitely on Amazon now.
Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. And that, my friends, is all I've been watching.
I'm really kind of surprised that's all you've been watching.
No, the other ones we saw
that you've been taking all this.
Oh, Lady Bird.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk Lady Bird.
I saw Lady Bird today.
Just today?
Yes.
Oh, it's all fresh in your head. All right. Do tell.
Not buying it. Not buying it.
Not buying it.
Not buying it. No, man. And the thing is, for everyone that loved it, that's dope. I see the one thing I can say is I see why you like this movie. I totally understand. And I can't say you're silly for like, no, I get it. It's just not a movie for me. I totally get why people love this movie. It's not a bad made movie. Everything is competently shot, competently written, and perfectly fine. It just wasn't a movie.
It's a fine movie,
yes.
Right? But I agree with you. I don't know why they're making they have the reaction that they're having for this movie. And that's fine that they're having that. More power to them.
Perfect.
But I'm with you. I didn't really, like I'd said in a past episode, even though it's not really like Juno, it's kind of one of those coming of age movies that's a little bit quirky. It somehow reminded me of Juno in a way, but not so much as far as the script goes. But as you pointed out, off mic, Juno's a better movie.
Yes.
So if you like Juno, you've already seen it, and she's what is her name? Saracen?
She's a star. She's amazing.
She's great.
She's
fantastic.
So is Laurie Metcalf. Great.
Yes.
Fantastic.
But I agree with you. I really didn't see, out of all the other movies that are out there, they're making a big, deal about this one.
I mean, it won
and
Best
I don't
Picture.
really see it. Yeah.
How?
But I don't know.
I don't know. How does that beat Get Out?
I don't even think that they should have been in the same category. I think that's really stupid to put a movie, because that was in the comedy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's lame. I guess they feel that they're going to do that because it gives them a better chance at winning.
Yes.
But I don't subscribe to that belief. I think that it should have been, I don't know, maybe a drama. What would you put if you had your way?
Horror.
What would you put Get Out in a horror movie, right? It would have its own category.
It was horrifying to me. Yes.
So, I don't think that those two movies should have really been compared. I do think that because of that, Get Out, did not get its just reward.
That's my thing. I don't think that like Lady Bird. Here's my thing. Lady Bird, okay, mind you, James Franco is not on my top 10 list right now, especially with these new allegations coming out and whatever happened there. But The Disaster Artist lost to Lady Bird, G.
I don't get it.
Like how?
I just feel like, okay, I feel that these movies that I've brought up today, I will remember these movies.
Totally.
Way more so than I'm going to remember Lady Bird.
Totally.
Like I've kind of already forgot it, to be honest with you. It's not the plot is there. I could tell you what it's about and everything, but it's not something that really just resonated with me.
Not at all.
And that's fine. I guess it's, not every movie is for everyone. And and if it hits you right, again, fantastic. I just feel like it's there for, I feel like this movie is going to be talked about, and you're hearing the name a lot right now because it's Oscar time. It's award season, and that's
and people like
what
Greta Gerwig.
But I just don't think that after this is all said and done, this is a movie that you're going to come back to. It'd be like, like in 2018 when Lady Bird won. You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to be the case. Maybe I'm wrong.
I also think it's a coming of age movie, meaning I have to be able to relate with the person that is coming of age. You know what I'm saying? And this was not for me because I never cussed at my mother. I couldn't just curse at my mother randomly and just say things like, I can't relate to this movie. This movie is not in I can't relate to that. So for people who can't relate to this movie, maybe it touches them in a way that it doesn't for me. Like maybe it's just for them. Be like, hasn't everyone gone through this situation? No, I didn't. No, it wasn't even kind of like that, because that's not the circle of people in this movie are not the circle I didn't even know they existed really. Because it just wasn't my circle. And I grew up I grew up in a white town for a long time, and that circle wasn't there. I was like, who are the people that are just down and out about everything? Even the goth kids weren't just depressed about everything. So I was like, maybe it was just a different time, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I was 4 years too late, because that was about 2001, 2000. I graduated in 96. So maybe in 2000, 2001, people were this way. Maybe they did listen to Crash Into Me on repeat and just be depressed about life. I don't know.
I do know that, even though I don't know the woman, I would dare to say that moms would not be having that.
Oh, bruh. Would your mom have that?
No.
Can you imagine being like, you're an effing C in her face and walking out the house and coming back and she's like, hi, babe.
Yeah, I'm not going to act like when I was a teenager, I never got mad at my mom. In my idiotic teenage mind that my mom had no idea what she was talking about or anything, but I would never, ever cuss at the woman like that. She did too much for me, man.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it wasn't for me, but so that's Lady Bird. Check it out, guy. I mean, some of you, that might be like, hey, I cussed at my mom. I was like, hey, this or that. This is yours then. Perfect. If you sat in a circle of people that listened to Crash Into Me, if you were part of not the theater troupe.
Why you gotta hate on Dave Matthews Band?
It's a funny thing because I like Dave Matthews, but if you're part of a theater troupe, this wasn't the theater troupe, dog. When they're saying, "Oh, this is how the theater troupe," I was in theater and this wasn't it. I don't know. Maybe I was 4 years too early, but check out this movie and see if you like it. I just think this quirky jazz is running its course.
I would definitely have to disagree with you in the fact that maybe I don't think you meant it this way, but I'm just going to kind of expand on what you were saying, is that I don't think that this movie is solely for the person that used to cuss at their mom. I don't think this is a bad movie whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't have the excitement that everyone else has for this movie. I just don't get it.
Understand.
So I agree with you in that aspect, but I feel like there's more to it than just a movie about a kid that cusses at her mom.
Yes,
you know what
very
I mean?
true. All right. And so that brings us into our news segment. Do you have a lot of news, brother?
I actually don't have that much news this week, so I'm hoping that you do.
I have a few. Now, the number one is, for me, this number one piece of news makes me want to do some of that sweet step routine all around my house because, ladies and gentlemen, Black Panther has sold more advance tickets on Fandango in its first 24 hours than any other MCU film.
Applause.
And bruh,
Way to go, Marvel.
I haven't watched the trailer yet. Not one trailer.
That's amazing to me that you haven't. You've seen nothing?
Nothing. And people keep
That's
on saying,
amazing,
dude. And apparently these trailers but I want to be surprised, but I've heard the trailers are crazy.
I've learned that I think that there's enough that you could see without really blowing anything.
So?
I hear a lot of people always say like, oh, they put all the good parts in. I don't buy that shit. I think that dude, it's pretty amazing. I'm really surprised that you've had the restraint and not watched the
I've seen the GIFs, like where they slap hands and I'm like, this is my movie. Like that is my movie. I just can't wait. But I loved him in Captain America. I thought he was the joint. And then my son's kind of hit me to his powers, like how strong his outfit is. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, I can't wait to watch this movie. I'm not going to see it opening day because it's going to be jam-packed and I have work. But I think I might do the opening weekend.
I'm definitely going to do the opening weekend for sure.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Are you taking the entire familia?
If they will come with me, then absolutely. If not, I'm going by myself. But I've been like anticipating this movie for a while now. I think it's going to be
crazy.
Freaking amazing. Dude.
And it's right on the... Whew.
And if anything, let's just say, and I'm not saying it's going to have no reason to think this, but let's just say the story falls flat. The visuals alone are going to be crazy. Incredible.
It's going to be crazy.
I cannot wait.
And I think
Ryan Coogler.
He's becoming, here's my thing. Coogler is the next. I haven't seen Creed yet, and you've been bugging me about it.
Yeah, it's due time. Like, you just need to stop. You need to stop this nonsense.
How late am I on that?
On Creed?
Yeah.
Like, can we just count this year as a full year?
Yes.
Because I don't remember the month that it came out in. But let's just, dude, it came out in 2015.
Oh,
what are you waiting for?
Dude.
What are you freaking waiting for?
Is it good, G?
Dude, look, no offense to the movie, but you just watched It Stains the Sand Red.
I did. You're right. But
you know what I'm saying?
I didn't like Rocky, though. The last Rocky, I thought it was okay.
I liked it. I got affection for Rocky movies, though, as we've talked about before.
Okay.
But Creed is amazing. And you will feel for Rocky in this movie. I guarantee it.
I can't. Yeah, I'm going to watch Creed, and I think it's on Netflix or Amazon.
It's a button push away for you, man. You got to watch this movie.
I'm going to watch Coco, then Creed. And so.
No, I would watch Creed, then Coco, to be honest with you. Well, it's two different movies, but I mean,
I'm late
Creed,
on Creed.
Dude. Come on now.
I'm late on. And the thing is, I think Coogler's the next. Ava DuVernay's the next. I think she might be doing a Marvel movie eventually. But I cannot wait for Black Panther. I mean, it's such a monumental feat that Marvel is letting Coogler do it the way he's doing it. You got to give Marvel props.
Oh, props have been given.
I mean, when you got, isn't it Run the Jewels on the trailer?
I was sold right there.
Because I closed my eyes and I was like, wait a minute. I have my eyes closed, but I'm bobbing. Yeah, I am bobbing.
A few months back, man, I was just watching right when the first trailer came out. Bam, 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 bam. Step into the spotlight. I was like, oh no.
Oh, come on.
That's going to be the song of the summer right there.
Come on. See, I'm wondering, is that going to be, okay. What if, oh my God.
It was already the song of the summer, but it's got new life.
If they make Black Panther a hip hop soundtrack, bruh, Bruh.
I think it would be a freaking disservice to the movie if they don't. Like, I think that what am I trying to say? That's not necessarily what I meant. I just think this is the perfect opportunity.
It's the perfect. If we're seeing a chase and it's just like, I'm gonna knock you, I would be like, oh my God, am I in heaven right now? Am I in heaven right now? Gene, will you lose your mind? Would you lose your mind?
I'm already losing it. I cannot wait to see this movie, man. This is so the good. Number one movie that I want to see next. Even though I'll probably see something before that, just because I'm impatient. I freaking can't wait to see this movie. And dude, the anticipation is so big on this one here.
Oh, it's huge, man.
I feel like we're not giving it enough attention. Like, this is not just anticipation for a movie. Like, this is like a movement, wouldn't you say?
It's a move. It's going to set. I mean, we've already seen, like, with Girls. Was it Girls Trip? It was Girls Trip.
Yes.
With Girls Trip, they showed that a movie headlined by black women can make a killing. An absolute killing. Now we're showing that, okay, we're going to do it again. And it shows, okay, now we're going to have a black movie with other people of color in the movie, and that's going to make a destruction. Coco is based on people of color, and that made a destruction. It's an avalanche.
But you can feel this one, man. Like, it's palpable. Like, if you just look, and I know you know this already, but if just going on Twitter and seeing the anticipation for this movie, I mean, entire theaters are being rented out, you know, to people of color because they want to,
yes, exactly.
They want to embrace this movie.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it feels weird for me talking about this here, so please feel free to take over. But it's like, you know, I actually am enjoying that energy that it's coming off. You know what I mean? Like, people are talking about, I'm wearing my dashiki to the movie.
That's so dope. And
I think it's dope. Yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o said, I couldn't get a seat. I'm in the movie and I couldn't get a seat.
Damn, that ain't even right.
She's in the movie. And she said, that makes me so happy. That means it's just sold out. I couldn't get it.
I think she's bullshitting a little bit, but I take her point.
Yes.
It's Lupita.
The thing is, she's going to see it, though. She's going to be able to see it because she's going to go to the premiere. But if you can't rent out a theater right now, no matter who you are, that's gone. Good luck. Now, I don't know if the ArcLight, because the ArcLight's a big place, but a lot of times when you got LA, they all want to see it in a good condition, and the ArcLight is the bomb. So I think that place is gone. The ArcLight is incredible. Have you been to the ArcLight?
I have never been to the ArcLight. I've always wanted to.
Go see a movie at the ArcLight.
So I got a couple questions for you. I got one question for you right up.
Hit me with it.
So, you know, we kind of said it's making a big buzz and it's causing a lot of stirring on Twitter. How important do you think this movie is to the Marvel Universe as a person of color?
As a person, for the people of color, it's huge. As Marvel, as a entity, I don't think it's big for them because, but also on the flip side, Marvel's like, we can't not make money. We just don't know how to not. It's like they're not even thinking of it. I don't even think they're like, what happens if it fails? It's just not a reality for Marvel because they're like, everything we do well and it makes money. So I don't even think it's in the realm of possibility for them. They're just like, well, yeah, it's going to make money. Uh-huh.
But what about the youth of today? You know,
it's huge. Yes.
I think that this is what black children need to see. They need a hero.
For sure.
There's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of black superheroes. You know what I mean? What do we have that's modern right now that we can compare it to? Exactly. You know, I think the only thing that's coming out like on CW. Excuse me, is it CW? It didn't sound right. Yeah, CW is the only thing that's coming out on CW recently, or is about to come out, is Black Lightning. Yeah, it's not going to be the same thing, of course, but I feel like this is a movie where, you know, children of color need to have somebody to look up to. You got your Tony Starks, you got your Incredible Hulk, your Thors, and everything like that, but there's not anything that I can think of right offhand where it's catered or geared towards a minority group. You know what I mean? And I think it's fucking amazing. It's a really important movie to me. I think that this is why it's so important, is because kids need this here. They need something to look up to like that this day and age, you know?
And that's one of the things I loved about Justice League is, I didn't even think about it, but you know, they show that video of Cyborg, the guy who played Cyborg, in a movie theater, waiting area with a kid that has like, prosthetic limbs. And this little kid is like, he's saying, oh my gosh, you're me. And I'm like, oh my God, he is. Cyborg was, and the kid is seeing it like, you're me. Oh my goodness. And you know, the guy that plays Cyborg, like, yeah, is it okay if I take a picture with you? And the kid now sees a representation of himself on screen.
You know what? And I kind of skipped over Ray Fisher too. I apologize about that because Ray Fisher was fucking dope in Justice League.
He was amazing.
He was probably the best one.
He had the most heart, but this kid was looking at him as, oh my goodness, someone with a prosthetic arm and legs. I can now look at someone on screen that represents me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a minority group. That's true. There's no one that represents that. And now he does. And so it's going to be a lot of different, like, we're going to have to expand a lot of groups that weren't being, I mean, soon we're probably going to have, I mean, at what point do we have a trans superhero? That's happening. A transgender superhero is coming. It's just when. It's just when. That's it. The floodgates are now open, and it just takes the right person to helm it. You know, and the fact that you know, Wonder Woman did such gangbusters. Wonder Woman did gangbusters, and the sad part is, I don't know if we're acknowledging how big that was. We said it, and then Justice League came and was like, oh, Justice League didn't hit. But like, yeah, but Wonder Woman just did. She just did it. But it kind of is now, people aren't really talking about it now. You know what I'm saying? But it's still a huge deal. It's still a huge deal what Wonder Woman did for little girls. They now go around dressed like Wonder Woman. That's huge.
It seems to me like the marketing's been up for toy sales on this one too. Like you're already starting to see Black Panther toys that are coming out like that. And
it's coming, dude.
It's very important. I really do feel like it's an important movie. You know, I didn't give Ray Fisher the credit he deserved on this one because, quite honestly, I didn't care for the Justice League as much as you did. It sort of fell off my radar. I know you did, my friend, and that's cool. It just sort of fell off my radar for a second because it didn't hit me like it hit you. But but just as important as it is, you know, Black Panther, Cyborg, also a very important character, and I'm glad that they're coming close together like that, which means that hopefully there's going to be a lot more. I mean, we have Spawn coming up soon. Yes. That's not kind of not the same, but you know, it's still a person of color.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, as long as they play it out, you know, they pull it off, and Blumhouse
Well, they
doesn't
said
jack
he's not
it.
talking. He's not going to speak.
I hadn't heard that yet. That's what's going on, really?
Yeah, he's not going to speak.
I heard that he's not going to be like the kind of like, you know, show up and save the day kind of character. I don't even really know what they're going to do with this movie because I'm so used to the original storyline. I kind of tried to stay away from it a little bit. I want to see, Todd McFarlane's been talking about this for years and how it's not going to be that kind of a movie and it's going to be something that you're not expecting. So I'm trying to, much like not to the degree you are, but much like you're trying to avoid anything Black Panther related, I'm trying to avoid most of the Spawn stuff just because I want to see, because I was so like amped when the Spawn movie came out, and then of course it was the Spawn movie, and it was completely, it was just such garbage. Yeah, so I'm hoping that they do it right this time. I didn't want to get my hopes up, like, you know, oh, it's another Superman reboot, and then whap 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 whap, just whack. You know, so I'm hoping that it's going to be good. But anyway,
I think it's going to be good. So that's Black Panther. The next piece of news, well, also, it's coming out in about a month exactly, February 16th. It's on its way. It's coming. And now the only thing I really wanted to talk about is the big one, the Golden Globes. We have all the winners, and there's only a few I really wanted to talk about that affected you and I, that we both saw, and that we might have an opinion upon.
Okay.
So Nicole Kidman won Best Actress in a limited series or television movie.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that. I got no problem with that.
I know it, bro. Now,
zero problems with that.
Here's my issue. The limited series, now that they're making a season 2, doesn't that they kind of got over on them?
What? How so? What do you mean?
Because she won Best Actress in a limited series. So isn't that meaning that it's only a season, or can that be 2 seasons?
I took it as a limited series because there was not that many episodes.
That might be what it is. That makes
versus,
sense.
You got 23 episodes or whatever they put out, or I guess, HBO doesn't do that. But, 10, 13 episodes, something like that versus, what was it, 6?
That makes sense. Yeah, that's probably what
So that's what I thought they meant, when they said limited.
No, that's totally what it meant. You're right.
But so well deserved, man. She was amazing in that.
Totally. And Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, Sam Rockwell won for 3 Billboards. I think he did deserve that. I haven't seen The Florida Project, but I did see Call Me By Your Name, Shape of Water, and I haven't seen Christopher Plummer in All the Money in the World, but I don't know how someone could beat Sam. He did a really good job. Best Actress in a TV Series went to Elizabeth Moss. You saw The Handmaid's Tale.
I did. I saw some of it. I have not watched all of it yet. I'm actually in the process of. She did a very good job, and I think that this is going to hit you. I think you're going to like this show.
Really?
Yeah, it's on Hulu, man. Check it out. I think that you're going to like it. I was very much into it, and then I just got pulled away for whatever reason, A, B, or C, whatever it might be. And, then the show started, and it's like, oh, shit, we have to watch so many different things every week. It's just kind of fell by the wayside, but not because it bored me. And matter of fact, I'm going to start from the very beginning again and just watch it all the way through. Okay.
I'm gonna check it out, too. Best Film Director, Guillermo del Toro. It's over, dude.
Come on. Yes.
It's over. Now, this presentation was Natalie Portman's time to shine. When presenting this award, she pretty much said, and the all-male nominees of Best Director goes to. I was like, whoa!
Oh, she was pulling no punches right there, was she?
Nope, and it was very important, and it was...
And very subtle, but very powerful at the same time, yeah.
And the thing is, she used her face. She knew nobody's going to do nothing to her. She's like, I'm Natalie Portman, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Not put me in your movie? Wrong.
She's got a point.
You know what I'm saying? Someone else couldn't do that. She knew I can do that and wield my power. And so I like that she did that. The only other ones that I have are best miniseries or TV movie. You Big Little Lies, dog. Come on. What are we talking about?
Big Little Lies cleaned up.
What are we talking about right now? We're
talking about amazing
We knew it. Come on.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good. I know that I was wrong a couple of times, but there was a few that I hit on my predictions. You were like an unstoppable beast, man.
Nailing it, G.
Yeah, you were Nostradamus on the...
Gee, I like that.
Yeah, I didn't,
Remember
but
that. Remember that. Remember that one. Nostradamus is dope.
Oh, we're going to have to get you some Swami music and start having you make predictions with this here, man. I already got I got something in my head. I just started to work out right now. I'm going to get you a little genie hat.
I'm going to say, here's my Nostradamus moment, and I'm going to start making predictions.
There it is.
Best actress in a film. Okay, we're both going to lose our minds on this. I love her, but Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird beat Margot Robbie in I, Tonya.
That was for lead, right?
Yes.
But also, it wasn't the same category, was it, for Frances McDormand?
No.
So was that in the category of a comedy again, or what was that one?
That Best Actress in a Drama.
Versus Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie won Best Actress in a Film, Comedy Musical.
There you go again with that whole comedy musical thing. I guess it was kind of a dark comedy, but again, we're talking about that, about Lady Bird.
Yeah, and she beat I, Tonya? Margot Robbie?
I don't agree with you, bro. I don't agree with them, I should say. I loved I, Tonya.
Insane.
It was just a far better movie. I don't know what's up with that.
And the transformation Margot Robbie did for I, Tonya was pretty free. Because look, she's pretty. Not saying Tonya isn't, but she took away some of that to make herself look different. Tonya Harding wasn't a bad looking person, but she didn't look like Margot Robbie.
She was always, I'll say what you're trying not to say. She was always rough around the edges. She was always rough, like hardcore rough.
Yeah, she was hardcore, and that wasn't Margot Robbie. Best film, comedy musical, Lady Bird, beating The Disaster Artist, Get Out. We already talked about that. That's so ridiculous, G. I'm done.
It's robbery.
Best actor, comedy musical, James Franco, Disaster Artist. He deserved it. I just
watched that again the other day.
Gee.
Totally worth a second watch, by the way.
Gee. It was he did such a, so yeah, that was a given. It wasn't really a given because it could have been either way. If they would have given it to, Daniel Kaluuya, I would have been fine. But like I told you before, Get Out is an ensemble movie. That's everybody acting in tandem. It's hard to give one person that Golden Globe because I believe Get Out is one of the most ensemble driven movies that I've seen because everybody was essential. Every person made that movie. So, yeah, James Franco got it. Best supporting actress in a series, limited TV series. We already talked about this. Laura Dern, we knew that she was gonna, it was a possibility that she was gonna get it, but it was between her and Shailene Woodley.
How do you feel about the outcome? Oh, you're about to tell me.
I think Shailene Woodley, she deserves something. But remember when I made the prediction because I said you felt something every time Laura Dern was on screen. You knew she was about to act a fool in some way. Don't know how, but she will. So what
what's exciting about Shailene Woodley, man? She has not made her best movie yet. Like she's not even close. But one of these days she's going to do something incredible. I know it. Okay. I just feel it about her.
Here's my Nostra Steveness moment. I believe she's just going to be kind of a tangential actress. One that adds something to a film, but never really has a breakout film. She's just going to be really good in everything.
I hope not. I really like her a lot.
I do too. But I think this is what her groove is she's going to be a part actress.
You know what got me about Big Little Lies is that, and without getting into the plot of it, when she takes off on her road trip.
Yes.
And you feel like, oh, it's about to go down right now. And I really thought that was going to be her moment to truly shine and become, and be this character that we're talking about, this totally, this not necessarily larger than life, but that would be her breakout moment. She's done great work, but I felt of anything in the whole series, I felt a little bit left out in that aspect because I just thought that they kind of missed the mark and they should have done something more with that. But they know what they're doing, and maybe with season 2, maybe that's when it's going to manifest.
Totally. Best animated film, Coco. We already knew that. Best supporting actress in a motion picture drama, Allison Janney. We nailed that one. Best screenplay is to your movie, 3 Billboards. Best screenplay and best film drama is 3 Billboards. I don't think it should have beat Shape of Water. I don't think it should have beat The Shape of Water. But again, we were on both sides of that one today. I think Shape of Water is a better overall movie. Because the line they had to toggle to make certain scenes they did in this is so hard to do. It could have been creepy.
I can't argue with you. I really can't. Like I said, I know we've already gone over it, but yeah, you're right. It was a better overall movie. I was just so impressed with the performances in 3 Billboards. But you're right. I got to give it to you. It was a better movie.
Now, this is a big one. Best actor Best actor in a TV series drama, Sterling K. Brown, This Is Us, first black man to win the award. Huge. We all got up, put our fists up, did the step around the house. Best TV series. Okay, this drove me crazy. I didn't see Handmaid's Tale, so now I'm like, this better be bomb because it beat out This Is Us, The Crown, Game of Thrones, and Stranger Things. It better be off the hook.
Oh, I can tell you already that I think it's better than Stranger Things. At least season 2.
Game of Thrones.
It's a completely different genre, but it's pretty amazing from what I've seen of it. Like I said, I didn't mean to just drop off like that. It just happened, but I'm coming back to it.
Now, best supporting actor in a series, we thought that they would trip over themselves, but they gave it to Alexander Skarsgård. They did the right thing.
I think so. I think he definitely earned it.
He killed it, G. We hated him. We both hated him.
And that's what makes it good. That's how you know. When he strikes up that emotion like that, you gotta, I'm not gonna say. But when you want to hate, when you makes you hate somebody,
oh, dude.
That's acting, man.
Oh,
that's done right.
I mean, he made, the truth of the matter, being real, he just made me despise him so much, man. But yeah, that's the Golden Globes. I only have one more piece of news, and the only reason I'm saying this piece of news is because I think it's very indicative of the time we are in right now. We all know that Mark Wahlberg got paid $1.5 million for All the Money in the World reshoots.
This is all ridiculousness right here, man. Go on.
And so, but little did we know that Michelle Williams only got paid $1,500 or $1,000.
How many ways can I slap the title of bullshit on that? That is so screwed up.
How crazy is that
$80 a day, dude. $80 a day, a per diem fee.
Louise. Now, mind you, I know there's people, trust me, I wouldn't say no to $1,000 a day. But here's what I will do. If my coworker's like, how much do you get paid? $4,000 a month. Oh, word? I'm getting $100,000. Guess what conversation we're now having?
Oh, I know.
We're having a different conversation. Now, the goal was that she would never know. Someone knew what she was getting paid and just hoped, well, she'll never know this. She'll never find out. Now, of course, Mark Wahlberg now gave $2 million to, or 2-point-something million dollars.
$1.5 million, actually. Yeah.
Huh?
$1.5 million.
He gave that, which is good, but would he have done, okay, we're going to have to assume something. Are we going to together assume that Mark Wahlberg didn't know that she was getting paid $1,000?
You know, I've given it some thought on that one here.
Okay.
I think that he knew what was up. I'm not in the movie business, but I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure that's common knowledge on the set. I would assume. Oh, and if not like actual numeric value, you know what I'm saying? Like still, he got paid a lot to come back and do his, because it's what do they call his reshoot fee?
Yes. And he wouldn't start until they gave him the full amount.
Yeah. So I think that he was very well aware of it. And quite honestly, and maybe I'm wrong, I think that if the attention wouldn't have been on him, that he would have just let it slip under the radar. I really do. Dude. I really do.
Because here's what I know. If I was running a movie and I was a douche like apparently these guys were, or whoever, I would be like, if he said, I want $1 million, what is your automatic go back? Well, Michelle Williams is only getting this much. Because that's how you would drive the price down. Why would we pay you that when we're paying her this? So I believe he knew.
It's just so sick, wrong, dude. It's so wrong on
How many times has that happened? How many times has that happened?
And will continue to happen.
And no one really knew. Because like today, I was on Twitter and they show a guy asked, a reporter asked Sharon Stone, have you been in any of these situations like in the Time's Up, in the Me Too movement? And she starts laughing in his face. Laughing in his face. She said, I've been in this business, something to effect, I've been in this business 40 years. Imagine me coming out of nowhere, Pennsylvania, into this business looking like me. What do you think I had to deal with 40 years ago? And I'm like, Jesus, what did she have to deal with, dog? For her to laugh in his face.
She's got a story to tell.
Dude.
Several, I'm sure.
Dude. And I think the thing is, it's like, I'm sure a lot of the people that did it to her are probably dead. You know what I'm saying? Or they got away with, who knows? But she has a story because yes, she was a knockout coming into the business. She was a knockout in Total Recall, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine what she had to go through knowing that the guys who were doing it to her would never get caught.
It's really nice to see that this is all coming to the forefront right now. And it's gonna knock down some big trees, you know? It already is.
Oh, man. Be ready.
This is the time right now. We are just in this infancy phase of a huge movement.
Ooh, it's changing, brother.
It's changing so much. And we have yet to see the magnitude of this, you know what I mean? But it's going to be a different world in the next year or so. It's going to be a different world in the movie industry.
And that's why I'm teaching, it's our jobs to teach our son, before they go to college or when they're in college. Do you know what consent is? Yes. Well, what is it to you? What do you think? Well, she says, well, if she says no, can you convince her into a yes? Yes. Well, no, you can't. When she says no, just leave. It's over. It's not your job to mac and pimp it out and no.
Yeah, I've definitely had this conversation several times with my son. I get it. And it's something that has to be done these days.
Has to. But so yeah, those are my news. That's my news. Do you have any news segments you want to go through before we get into this real quick game of Dan's the most smart person I've ever met in my entire life, and there's no way that he's not going to answer every single question I ask him correctly?
Wow, that is just a really long title. I think you should just keep it to back. What was it? What did you call it before? Is Dan the man? I like that. I don't know. Which one? You keep changing it. You keep changing it. I personally like it if you were to say no, because with your voice, so you got to be like, because you can make that high pitch. Is Dan the man? Like that's how you should say it. There it is.
That's a good one. But I also like Dan tells me off mic that the audience isn't as smart as him. That's a good game title too.
Oh, that's so wrong. That's incriminating and false information.
He said, I can beat everybody, especially Johnny Bucks. That's what Dan says.
Man, you are just pot stirring today.
I'm sorry. What other news you got, brother?
I don't really have much in comparison to what we were just talking about here. Okay. One of them was a very small little thing. I'd already mentioned that Sam Rockwell, he said the F word on SNL. Speaking of SNL, let's talk Bill Hader for just a second. Bill Hader has a comedy coming out on HBO entitled Barry, coming out on March 25th. Have you heard anything about this show?
No.
I like the premise of this. Check it out. Barry is a dark comedy that has Hader as depressed, low-rent hitman from the Midwest who reluctantly travels to Los Angeles to execute a hit on an aspiring actor. Barry follows his Mark into an acting class and ends up finding an accepting community and a group of eager hopefuls within the Los Angeles theater scene. He wants to start a new life as an actor, but his criminal past won't let him walk away. I think that sounds awesome.
All over it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really good.
That's going to be very good. Bill, I
March
like Bill
25th. Yeah, I'm a huge Bill Hader fan.
Can't wait.
And it's another person. That's another one that I don't think has done his finest work yet.
He's not going to. Steve Stradamus, he's always going to be kind of a character what he's doing now.
I'm going to challenge you, Steve Stradamus. Okay. I'm not saying he's going to end up being like winning an Oscar or something like that, but I think whatever it is, he has not given his biggest contribution to the entertainment industry yet.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So March 25th, Barry on HBO starring Bill Hader. Sounds like it's going to be a good one. I believe there is a trailer for it if you guys want to check it out, and I recommend you do. Let's see what else. Really, honestly, man, just kind of like piddly news. I was excited to hear it, but I was sort of expecting it, and I hope that he can continue to do this for as long as possible. John Williams has confirmed that he's going to write the score for Star Wars Episode 9. And it has to be that way. Okay. And, it just has to be. When you think of Star Wars, dude, I love John Williams so much. We were walking around in old Sacramento this weekend, and we went into the store. I don't know the name of it, or else I'd just give you a little, it's a little free plug or whatever. But it's a cool store. It's basically like movie memorabilia and Funko Pops and shit like that. But they were just playing. It was like a CD, I guess, or something. They were streaming, whatever it would be. Just a bunch of John Williams scores. And if you
that is really cool.
And I could listen to that all day, man. It's like I started listening. Oh, it was amazing. Superman. That's what I was listening. It was a Superman theme, and then they started playing E.T. You know the drill. Like John Williams is the shit. So I'm very happy that he's back. Yeah. I'm gonna be very sad when this man's gone one day, but he's made some beautiful, timeless pieces that will forever stick with me. The last thing I'm going to talk about, I think you're going to appreciate. This is something that I am not that thrilled about, but not thrilled is like I'm not unthrilled about it. But it's just not my bag of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? But I think you're going to dig this. They are set to start filming. You ready for this, Steve? A new Masters of the Universe.
Gee, okay, look. I'm excited about it.
That was your deal, right? Like that's what you said. You didn't really mess around with the Star Wars stuff too much. But come on, I'm just going by age. Yeah, you had to rock some He-Man figures.
I loved He-Man.
And I'm sure you watched that show.
Yes.
Here's another thing for you here. I think that I'm going to use your movie knowledge on this one here. All right.
Okay.
Do you know who is set to write and direct this? Any guesses?
Is he fairly popular?
I think you'll know who he is.
Masters of the Universe. What is his genre?
His genre?
Yes. Like, what does he normally do?
Well, he's kind of all over the place, but I would say that he is definitely like more prominent in superhero action movies. And I will say that
Jon Favreau?
No.
That would have been amazing.
You know what? I'm just going to say it. Blade.
David Goyer?
That's it. David
Really?
S. Goyer. Yep, David S. Goyer set to write and direct the Masters of the Universe.
I think it could be good.
It's promising with his name behind it, but I don't know, man. Like the other one was, but you liked the Dolph Lundgren.
I liked it.
movie.
I liked Dolph Lundgren, and I liked his role in that.
See, man, I don't know. I cannot get down with that. I thought it was one of the most horrible movies I've ever seen. But if David S. Goyer can do this here, and pull it off, it's just such a strange look now.
It is very weird.
The look of He-Man. I feel like they're going to have to upgrade him somehow.
Oh, he can't be walking around in draws, yeah.
Yeah, you can't be walking around in your skivvies like that. I think that's going to have to change.
It's going to look like who's going to play him?
That I don't know yet. I don't really know that much about it, to be honest with you. But
it has to be a newcomer.
I think that would be best. Because it's going to be hard to see, someone that, like, I don't know, like, who do you think could pull it off? That's just like a well-known. Okay,
he has to be big.
You know who could pull it off, but it won't because you won't be able to get it out of your head. I think Hemsworth could do it.
Yeah, that would.
I think Chris Hemsworth would be a really good pick for He-Man.
His brother, but he has a brother. His brother could do it.
Maybe.
He's not as big, but Chris Hemsworth's natural build is skinny.
But I mean, he's got the blonde hair already. Luke's got the brown hair, so that's just a dye job.
He can do it.
I can only imagine the grueling workout that they could give this guy to bulk up like He-Man, but Thor's pretty close to it, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but they're going to have to I think they should, if he's smart, being that it's a made-up character, Why not get a person of color?
At this point, it totally could work.
It could totally work. No one really know. Like, I think if they got a Hispanic person into He-Man, no one would be none the wiser. Like, you could even use, why not Jason Momoa? Even though he's already kind of the guy, why not? If it's a one-off.
He's definitely got the size.
He totally has the size, and he has the swagger.
You know who I could see them inserting into this? And I'm not saying that I suggest this, but I could see them doing that just because of like the hype and his popularity. I could see them throwing like The Rock into it or something like that. And that I think would be a mistake. I don't think that
would be a total mistake.
It's going to be hard to take this movie seriously as it is. You're going to get your diehards, the people that grew up with it, that are going to go see that for sure. But to sell that to the general population, I think it's going to be hard if they format it like it was, in the Masters of the Universe cartoons. And again, walking around in your drawers. I don't think that's going to work.
No.
But, let's see. We've been surprised before, and it's really all about the vision, and maybe it's going to be great. We'll see.
Look forward to it, brother.
I will know right away if I'm going to watch this movie when I see the first trailer. If it looks cheesy, I'm out. I won't see it. Because it's not something that I'm just dying to.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I only pulled this because I knew that you like Masters of the Universe.
I can't wait.
That's for
Can't
you.
wait.
And I got one more, actually. That's something that just happened today.
Oh.
I don't know if you're actually familiar with her, but I liked her, and I used to listen to them in the 90s. The Cranberry singer, Dolores O'Riordan, died today she was 46 years old. She died, she died today. She was found dead. She apparently died suddenly. They haven't really released what the cause of death was. But lead singer of the Cranberries, man, is no longer with us. And she died at such a young age. That shit hits me kind of close. I'm like, oof, like, that's why I'm going to the gym.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But and
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dolores. And she hit. You know what? Did you like one of their songs? I think you would, by the title of it. I'm just thinking. Do you know any of their songs? Any song you can think of?
I wasn't big into alternative music.
They had a song called "Zombie," Steve.
Oh yeah,
one of their biggest hits.
Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, zombie.
Oh, I didn't know that's what they were saying. Okay.
Yeah, and then also, they had a lot of other songs too, but "Linger" was also a very popular one.
That was them.
That was them.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it came off their debut album. What was it? Like, everybody else is doing it, so why can't we? That's what it was. I think it came out in like 92 or 94 or something like that, right around there somewhere.
You have made your mark. You made your mark.
Yeah, man, but rest in peace. Very, very sad to hear that. People do not need to be dropping off the face of the earth this soon. No. So, yeah.
But she made
Pay attention when you can.
That's the best we can do. That's the best we can ask for, is to make our mark. That's something that's going to live on forever.
Yeah, I don't know I'm kind of curious to see what happened with that, though. I don't think one has anything to do with the other, but I do know that she was recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it. So, I don't think it would be. Usually, if it's like a suicide or something like that, they will say that pretty much right off the jump and then figure out the rest of the details later. But I have a feeling that because it's so fresh, it just happened today, there's going to be more. So rest in peace, Dolores O'Riordan.
Totally.
That's it for me, dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got some good news. We got some bad news. Good news is I get to, challenge this brother on the other side of this phone at some Dan's the man. The bad news is he believes he's smarter than every one of you listening. That's the bad news.
That's so wrong.
We're only going to do 2 rounds because of time restraints, but we will do. He does, guys. Every time he calls me, he's just like, "Hey, remember that time I beat the audience probably because I'm that smart?" And I'm like, "Dude, enough, enough."
That's exactly how it went down. You're right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the segment of our show where we try to prove to you, the listener, from us.
Say it the way I say it with the tone.
your loyal host is Dan the man.
That's the best, man. I love it.
So here we're gonna have 3 different segments. You can choose through any theme, and I'm gonna give you 4 themes to choose 2. Number 1, a May Dan voyage, and you already know.
Okay. Yes, I know where we're going with that. Yes.
Okay. Number 2, Dan Solo.
Okay.
Star Wars trivia.
Little Star Wars action.
Number 3, opportunity Dan-eyed. And that is people who have passed on huge movie roles, superstars. And I'll give you the hints for them. And the last is Do Ramirez. And that is theme songs from popular television shows.
Oh my God. You're reaching, Hudson. You're reaching in these, but I appreciate your effort. All right. Let's keep it interesting. So we've already established that I can roll with you on the Maydan voyage.
Yes.
Rather. And
I don't know.
Hey, no, I need to up the game, but I'm just trying to keep things like even. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
It's like when you play Jeopardy. You know what I mean? I've already beat. I'm up to like $600 now. So
yes,
I'm gonna go ahead and try. Give me the last two, the ones that we haven't done yet.
Opportunity Denied.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely do that.
Do Ramirez.
Yeah. I don't know about that last one's title, but let's do those.
All right. Number one, we're going to do Do Ramirez. I'm going to give you the first or middle sections of a certain song, and you're going to tell me what show this goes to. Are you ready, Dan?
You're giving me lyrics, or are you giving me audio?
Lyrics.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Number one, Thank You for Being a Friend.
Oh, man, that's Golden Girls.
No, he's 1 for 1, ladies and gentlemen. Number two, What Will We Do, Baby, Without Us?
I bet we've been together for a million years. That's freaking Family Ties, right?
That's Family Ties.
What will we do, baby? Yeah, come on.
Number three.
You didn't know I could sing like this, huh? I know, you're impressed.
You're killing it. Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
Okay, hold up. It's Different Strokes.
That's Different Strokes.
Boom.
If you get this one, this is 5 out of 5 for this.
Are we at 5 already? Okay, come on.
Yes, we are. All right. Nope, never mind. We're at 4.
That's what I thought.
On Your Mark, Get Set, and Go Now.
Laverne and Shirley.
Gee,
got a dream, and we just know now.
We're
gonna make our dreams come true, Steve.
Look at this guy.
The television was a great babysitter back in the day. I spent a lot of time bonding with the television.
Note to self: make this much harder next.
They're working at the Schatz Brewery. They blow the air in the glove and they put it on top of the beer bottle and they wave it as it goes away. Yeah, that's it. Steve's having some communication issues today, so we're technical difficulties. We're working through it. We're working through it.
Now, Dan, you've gotten the last 4, and I'm impressed.
Thank you.
But see, this one though, this is going to be the true test of how good you are. Check this out.
So I'm not the man yet, right?
Okay, not yet.
Okay.
You can count on me no matter what you do.
You can count on me no matter what you do. Damn it, Steve. I think you may have gotten me. Hold on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
My Two Dads.
Never watched it once.
What?
That was a 90s show, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. See, you could just destroy me on 90s shows.
I will
80s
not
and 70s?
Okay. 4 out of 5, dude. That's an A+. That is
I'm okay with it.
Jesus Christ.
Are you like recording from a bomb shelter or something?
Seriously, G. So this last one, there's been many a superstar that have passed on some amazing roles. Are you good at let me ask you something. Are you good at names, Dan?
You know what? I have a feeling that you're going to get me on this one, which is why I took this here.
I don't think I will, because you're very smart, and you've been wolfing about how all of our audience members don't know anything about the entertainment field, and so I'm assuming...
I love to insult our audience, by the way. Yes. Apparently that's the story.
So I'm going to give you some clues, and let's see if you can catch it. An opportunity, Dan. Number
Let's
one.
Go.
This Oscar-winning star who acted opposite Bradley Cooper twice was passed over...
Hey guys, while we're waiting for Steve to come back, let me just tell you, I got a feeling that he is like not where he's supposed to be. I think he may in fact be recording at some kind of like bunker, like 30 feet below, something like that, an old bomb shelter. And I think he lives in a neighborhood that was actually built in the 50s, so he's got bomb shelters and things like that there. And I think that's where he's recording from. Oh, there he is. He's back. Hey Steve, how you doing, buddy? I was just sitting here waiting for you. Sorry guys, we're just having major technical difficulties right now, but we are going to persevere.
All right, here we go. Number one. Are we ready?
We are ready, but what is it again? What are we doing? That was like 6 hours ago.
Okay. This Oscar-winning star who acted opposite Bradley Cooper twice was passed over for the role of Bella Swan in Twilight.
Oh, that's the beautiful Jennifer Lawrence.
Daggone it, dude. Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
Hold on a minute. Now we're having okay, wait. I've been making these too easy.
I'm a big Jennifer Lawrence fan, dude.
Okay. All right. Hold it. Here we go. Don't worry, audience. Don't trip. Don't trip. Number 2. Don't trip. This actress who runs Goop, a website.
That's the answer to my question, by the way, man. Remember when you asked me? Like you said, I can't remember how you.
Person?
That would be my person, I think.
That's not bad. She's pretty, dude.
She's
very pretty.
I'll stop there.
This actress who runs Goop, a website famously jam-packed with pseudoscience, was passed over for the part of Rose in Titanic.
Goop, that's a good one. I'm just gonna kind of try and think of the age range there. Goop, Rose.
She's super bad with science, dude.
The person I'm thinking of would definitely not be would not be qualified to play Rose for other reasons. Natalie Portman?
Gwyneth Paltrow, sir. Close. All right. Number 3. One of
is
two.
She? Hold on, real quick. Is she like real?
Oh, dude.
She's known for being super smart.
Oh, dude.
I wasn't aware of that.
Check out her pseudoscience she peddles. It's terrible.
Okay, I'll check it.
This
Goop.
actor, famous for playing tough guys and Don't Let Him Pass a Mirror, was passed over for the role of Josh in Big.
Don't Let Him Pass a Mirror.
Tough guy.
What's tough guy? Yeah.
When you think tough guy, you probably think him from back in the day.
I have someone that popped up, but I know that's not it. I know I'm gonna be wrong, but I'm just gonna say it. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro as... See, that wouldn't even make sense what I just said. You said tough guy. Robert De Niro as... In Tom Hanks' role?
Yes, yes.
Interesting, very interesting. No, I
De
can't
Niro
see that.
was like,
It seems
"Are
like
you
they made
thinking
the
of me?"
right choice there for sure.
And I was thinking, are you looking at me? You know what he says?
Yeah, you talking to me?
There, you talking to me. All right.
You got young. A little bit. Got young a little bit.
There we go. That's what I was saying. I think you would have nailed it if you would have. The mirror thing, I tried to give you a hint. All right. Here we go. This actor, famous for a seminal 80s role and his fantastic Broadway run, missed the opportunity of playing Walter White in Breaking Bad.
Wow, these are really good questions. And as I expected, I don't think I'm going to do well with this one here. But Broadway, Walter White. Can I get a hint on this one?
He was on Broadway with another person.
Oh, well, that narrows it down.
It was like a two-man thing. When you looked at Broadway, you saw that it was two of them.
Oh, you're referring to Nick Kroll in Oh Hello. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see.
Huge Broadway run.
Tom Hanks?
No, Matthew Broderick, the producers.
Oh, man. No, I just guessed. I guess. No, you got me on those one, though. I'm proud of you. You stumped me.
That's okay.
You have proven that I am not the man today.
Not yet. We're going to continue this next week because of
You've also proven that you cannot keep a connection.
Hello?
This is fucked up.
Hello?
Hey, guys, we're trying our best here, but we just can't seem to get the connection right. So
can you hear me now?
I'm just letting you know. I don't know what's going to be in here, what's not. I'm sure I'll edit in something, but we are having a hell of a time trying to get this show recorded. You know what? I'm going to actually bow out of this, guys. I'm sorry about this, but we are having some technical difficulties that we just can't seem to get right now, so we will have to continue this game on another day. Unfortunately, I think that we're going to have to end this one now. We're going to have to end the show, and we will get back to you next week, and we will come correct, I promise. But this usually does not happen, but we are having some amazing communication issues, technical difficulties. I do not know why. Steve, are you with me?
Hello?
There he is. There he is. He's back.
We love you so very much, and until this wonderful day that we actually go over there and picket AT&T for their terrible signal, we love you so very much. And until that mystical, magical day, I'm your host, Steve.
I have no idea what he's saying. Hey guys, sorry about all the technical difficulties. We will be back. And, just so you know, my name's Dan. And thank you so much for listening to the Heroes of Noise. We will see y'all next week. Peace.